From Husky Stadium in Houston, Texas, we bring you Southland Conference football action. Tonight, it's the Abilene Christian Wildcats, 0-2 on the season, against the Houston Baptist Huskies, who are 1-1. And good evening, everybody. I'm Tom Franklin, alongside is John Harris. And tonight, John, we've got a couple of teams who want to start building momentum as we start getting into conference season.
Absolutely. HBU wants nothing more than to build on the win last week against TSU as they move back into Southland Conference play. And ACU, well, they just want that donut to be moved off the left-hand column and put a one up there with a win tonight.
Abilene Christian coming close a week ago, falling short in a 55-52 shootout with Northern Colorado, but their quarterback, Dallas Seeley, named the Southland Conference Player of the Week.
Yeah, Dallas Seeley can do it on the ground. He can do it through the air, strong arm, but he is best, Tom, off schedule. When he is making something happen with a little bit of rush around him, that's when Dallas Seeley's at his best.
For the HBU Huskies, they had a great running performance out of Terrence Peters. He was an honorable mention for Offensive Player of the Week and also got the Hero Sports Play of the Week with one of his 2 touchdown runs.
Yeah, he must have run about 125 yards on that run, Tom, but Terrence Peters will be key against an ACU defense that gave up over 650 yards last week to Northern Colorado. Terrence Peters the key tonight.
We're in store for a good matchup tonight here at Husky Stadium. We'll bring you back for the opening kickoff right after this timeout. Big dude. Boy, they're big in the middle. Okay. We'll defer. Okay. All right, ACU, we'll see what you got. Tonight's game is being brought to you by Abraham, Watkins, Nichols, Sorrells, Augusto, and friends. Randy Sorrells named one of the top 100 attorneys in Texas for the past 10 years. Also by Roadrunner Moving and Storage. Call 713-417-9593 for your moving and storage needs. By Wells Fargo. Together we go far. And by Big Play Tracker, unlocking the power of big plays. And it's something interesting for you folks to be able to do in tonight's ball game, to follow along maybe with the inner workings of the ball game by going to bigplaytracker.com and finding out what big plays highlight what's going on the field, John, as opposed to just rushing yards and passing yards.
Yeah, if you like the game inside the game, and I know a lot of you do, this is perfect for you. Bigplaytracker.com. Check it out.
Let's go to the third member of our crew right now, Jeff Power, down on the sideline. Jeff?
Thanks, guys. Adrian Duncan is getting the start tonight for Abilene Christian. He had 101 yards rushing last week against Northern Colorado in a loss in that game, but it was a high-scoring affair. Nonetheless, he's replacing DeAndre Brown, who suffered a high ankle sprain against Air Force. It's going to be a big game. Ken Collins says they've got to be physical up front. He needs his offensive line to perform. Back to you.
All right, thanks very much, and we're going to get to see that offensive line perform here right off the bat. HBU won the toss and elected to defer to the second half. And so Abilene Christian will take the football and receive to the end zone to our left as you look at it here at Husky Stadium. Abilene Christian, the white jerseys trimmed in purple with black pants and dark helmets. HBU tonight in the blue jerseys with orange and white trim, gray pants and blue helmets. Alex Chadwick to kick it away. And we are underway here at Husky Stadium. And it was Justin Miller drifting over to take a knee in the corner of the end zone. And so Abilene Christian will scrimmage 1st and 10, starting at their own 25-yard line under the direction of sophomore quarterback Dallas Seeley.
Tom, we talked about him in the open. Can make things happen off schedule. Even when you think you got him hemmed in the pocket, he can make a guy miss, and before you know it, he's out in space. And that's why it's hugely important for this secondary. Keep an eye where Seeley is. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more spy technique on Seeley tonight, like we saw a little bit last week. Terrence Manderville was one of those guys for HBU. We'll see how HBU attacks Dallas Seeley, Southland Conference Player of the Week last week.
Pistol formation for Seeley, a 6-foot sophomore from Lawton, Oklahoma. Running play on 1st down. And making significant gains over the left guard spot is Adrian Duncan, who starts in place of the injured DeAndre Brown. As you heard Jeff mention, 101 yards a week ago. Here's the Abilene Christian offensive line as they go right with tempo at the line of scrimmage, and now penalty marker comes flying in from the umpire.
Both the center and the guard move there, so they'll move back. They'll make this a 2nd and about 8. But you see DeAndre Brown, he will not play tonight, number 22. But it doesn't really matter because Adrian Duncan and Tracy James, the 2 running backs alongside Dallas Seeley tonight, both of them can play.
And on that wide receiver core, keep an eye on young DJ Fuller out of Chicago, Illinois.
All right, Tom, how does a guy from Chicago, Illinois end up in Abilene, Texas? I'll let you chew on that for a little bit. We'll talk about that later on.
Good recruiting. 2nd down, and let's call it 7.5 now from back at the 27-yard line. And once again, up the middle, it is Duncan, but this time he's got no place to go. The blue shirts throwing him back, and you see jumping around out there is number 8, Terrence Manderville.
Excellent job by the interior. They gashed him on that first run. HBU made a little bit of an adjustment inside and able to stop that run. You've got to stop one facet. Either you stop the quarterback or you stop the dive. Well, if you don't stop the dive, they're going to hammer you all night long, forcing a 3rd and long here.
2 receivers to the near side for Seeley, who has yet to throw a ball, but he might right here on 3rd down and 8. Looking to pass, under pressure, will escape to his left, and now throws over the middle, and it's caught across the 40 and out near midfield. The ball comes out at the very end, but that catch is made by Justin Miller.
Excellent throw by Seeley. Bought himself some time in the pocket. He gets a little bit of heat right there by Andre Walker. Dives in and gets back out. And now you see HCU going with the tempo, trying to keep HBU on its heels.
21-yard pickup on that play. And once again, it's James, bumps into a wall of people, bounces out and may have picked up a yard. But once again, the front 4 for HBU playing the run very, very well.
Edge protection against this zone read game. I'm telling you, Seeley's about to pull one out of there. Last week, TSU caught Andre Walker out of position. Seeley's waiting for that opportunity to run that zone read and pull it himself.
On 2nd and 9, Seeley will throw again. Pocket holds for him. This time he misses on the outside. Looking for DJ Fuller.
Brought a 4-man rush, and it looked like Seeley had some room to run, but where he was going to run, DJ Fuller was right in that spot, so he tried to get it to his star receiver. Unable to make the connection, and HBU again in a 3rd and long defensively. Last week, Tom, they showed a ton of looks to TSU. We'll see what they do tonight against Dallas Seeley.
Right now, it's a stand-up defense. Nobody with their hand on the ground. They only bring 3 now, a late blitz for 4, and Seeley will escape. Now throws down the far sideline and overthrows an intended receiver looking for Chase Conley. Quickly, we'll take a look at the HBU defense. Manderville and Walker very active on the outside of that defensive front 4. The linebacking core anchored by the man in the middle, Garrett Dolan, one of the best in the Southland Conference. And there's the secondary as we get to a 4th down situation. And now this is going to be Cody Ennis in kind of a wildcat position. He can work out of this if they want him to, or kick it just like that. Toward the near sideline, will hit it about the 25 and go out of bounds. So pretty good field position coming up here for HBU on their first possession of the game with 12:55 left in the opening quarter.
Survive that first drive. I would imagine ACU's offensive staff will tell Dallas Seeley, look, you got a little bit more time in the pocket. Take your time, let some of the routes develop down the field. But HBU, a great job getting off the field. But they're really going to have to be cognizant as they rush Seeley to make sure that he doesn't dart in and back out and those outside rushers get too far upfield. But Tom, now we flip it over to HBU's offense, and we're looking at Tony Dawson, who was a great game manager, and not in a bad way. That's not a bad term. Great game manager last week against TSU.
Handoff on first down, and this is Peters trying to get to the outside and coming up to make a very quick, sure tackle on the outside was Jamar Mack off the corner.
Terrence Peters trying to bounce the wide sweep. Jamar Mack, nice play as an edge corner to come up and hold that to only a 1-yard gain. And now we got HBU trying to go tempo as well.
Second down and 9. Dawson play action and finds Peters out of the backfield as the first down and more. On the run on the far side and upended as he gets to midfield. Terrence Peters picking up 24 on the pass from Tony Dawson.
Excellent job. You'll see ACU slant to the sideline, which left the field wide open. We're back on tempo. Dawson in the shotgun.
He'll roll left this time, under pressure, and will be brought down from behind. Nice rush off the edge. Coming up to make the tackle is Bryson Gates, and quickly on the sideline for Jeff Power.
Yeah, I was talking with Vic Shealy before the game, the HBU head coach. He said Tony had great footwork last week. He was more balanced, and he also was 19 of 27 passing. He was on target. That's what Vic said about his quarterback. Back to you.
He's got 2 receivers to either side, man in motion. We had movement at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a false start against HBU. So after that nice play that gets them out to midfield, they're surrendering the field position.
54 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Imperative in second and long situations for Tony. We're looking at the Huskies starting offensive lineman right here, an offensive line, Tom, that did a really nice job last week against TSU.
Hunter Barron, the left tackle, outstanding in that group right there. Backs and receivers, we'll talk about Peters a lot. Keep your eye on Wesley Lewis, who had a big game a week ago as well. Second down and 16 now from the ball back at the 43-yard line. And Dawson, flushed out of the pocket, will just throw it away. Pressure coming from number 35, and that's Miles Salisbury, backup linebacker.
You'll see ACU's defensive line number 9. Keep an eye on him. He's from Kingwood. Josh Bloom. He's a big fella. Now he'll come out on third down as ACU gets their best pass rush in. Number 34, Sam Denmark, one of the best linebackers in Southland Conference. And Jabari Butler, number 7 at corner, was a Southland Conference Freshman of the Year last year.
Third down and long for the Huskies. Dawson stands tall over the middle and broken up, looking for Brandon Taylor. With the ball broken up in the secondary by Jamar Mack.
Excellent throw. I don't know how much better you can thread the needle with this one. Look at this throw by Tony Dawson. Good window, and that ball is delivered right where it needs to. Just can't hang on. Excellent play right there by Jamar Mack, the corner trailing Taylor across the formation.
Christian Guzman to punt. 6 punts a week ago, averaging 38 yards. Nice spiraling kick. Ow! Will go back and hit into the end zone. Went over the head of TJ Fuller. That thing from the line of scrimmage, 57 yards in the air.
I was watching Guzman punt before the game, and I just kept seeing him hit rockets, Tom, and I was like, wow. I realized he's got the wind at his back, and it is a pretty stark wind down on the field, but that said, he's one of the better punters, not only in Southwest Conference, but also in all of FCS.
So neither team able to generate much on their first possessions. We start again. This time it's Abilene Christian at their own 20-yard line. You see Seeley there on the year. He's hit 58% of his passes for 572 yards, 4 touchdowns. And no interceptions.
That's
more important.
The key. I was waiting for that number right there. You play Air Force, you play Northern Colorado, you don't turn the ball over one time. That's pretty impressive for a guy starting his first year.
Head coach Ken Collins telling me he protects the ball pretty well. I would say so. On first down, running play around the left side for James, and he'll get across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. Brought down from behind on the trail by Garrett Dolan.
Excellent pursuit there by Terrence Vanderville. You see him on the edge. He's got that read. He's got to decide, do I take the running back or do I stay with Seeley? That time he kind of got caught in between, but the speed to catch up with Duncan kept it to a 3-yard gain.
On second down and 7. Seeley will look to the sideline for a new play call. Has 2 receivers to either side. And James to his left. Drops it over the middle for James, and Dolan will bring him down at the 30-yard line, holding that to about a 3-yard gain at the 31, but that's enough to move the sticks.
Excellent job by Seeley, just find a nice little window. Duncan getting isolated on Garrett Dolan. We know Dolan is a great tackler, excellent blitzer, but ACU getting him matched up in coverage, that's an advantage for ACU.
From the 31, 1st and 10. Seeley will pull it and run and has no place to go, and saw blue shirts coming fast and said, I better get down and avoid the hit.
He'll carry it a number of times in this game. Bill O'Brien said something to me this weekend, Tom Franklin, I thought was really interesting about runners. Know when the journey is over. He knew when the journey was over when Terrence Vanderbilt was there.
Yes, he did. Quick throw on the outside on the seam for Miller, and he'll pull across the 35 to about the 37-yard line.
I love that throw. It's just a quick bubble screen. Get it out to Miller and let him see what he can do. Worst case, he catches it, gets 5 yards, sets up a 3rd and 4 or a third and medium, setting up a good opportunity here for Seeley.
From the 37. Seeley will throw, and it's caught by the tight end Ennis. Taken off his feet by Taylor Thompson, but not before he can get the first down at the 44-yard line.
Are we sure Cody Ennis is not a tackle who just put number 15 on? That's a big fella catching that football, and also punted a little while ago, so only guy in the game with a punt and a reception.
6'5" and 270, so I guess that's pretty big. New set of downs for the Wildcats. Little sweep action for James. Ran into Dolan, who stood him up at the 46 and shoved him back.
Looked like that play was going to go, Tom. They blocked down, they pinned down, they pulled around. Duncan very patient, almost too patient, because that allowed Garrett Dolan to get from his middle linebacker spot on out to that run. Some good blocks set up there, but Dolan ducked inside the pulling guard right there to make that play and keep it to a 3-yard gain. That could have been a much bigger play if Dolan isn't there to fight off that block and make the tackle.
2nd down and 7. And this time the handoff is to Tracy James, who checked in. And saying hello right away was number 49, Andre Walker. Spilling for a 2-yard loss to the 45.
Tom, we got to give credit to that interior for HBU. They're shutting down that inside zone right away. Seeley's going to have to pull the ball, but there's such a focus on Seeley. The interior had to play well, and they are thus far stopping those inside runs.
The loss back to the 45. It's 3rd down and 9. James stays in as the running back. Quarterback draw for Seeley, and he's not going to go very far, and a flag is coming in as well. Dolan makes the tackle at the 46 or 47-yard line, but check the flag. Referee is Dan Lewis, and he'll tell everybody.
Personal foul, face mask, 42, defense. That'll be a 15-yard penalty and automatic 1st down.
These are the ones that kill you on 3rd down. You got the play stopped. And Seeley there was trying to take advantage of HBU's kind of muddle huddle. They showed this look last week against TSU. They'll move around. They have all their pass rushers out there. And Seeley just tried to catch him out of position, and he didn't. They did a great job of stopping that run. They just got one hand on a face mask, and it's a killer because you give it back to ACU, get them back on track.
17 yards all told with the run and the penalty. On 1st and 10. James is back in, and he's got no place to go. Fast on the corner. At the bottom of the pile is number 10, and that is Andrew Ade. He makes the tackle for HBU.
Great job there by Austin Holly, defensive tackle, getting some penetration and rerouting Duncan back inside to his help. They were able to stop that for no gain.
2nd down and 10 for the 38s. Tracy James is hit and stood up, may have lost the yard at the 39-yard line.
Tom, somebody needs to tell Abilene Christian that's not Northern Colorado on the other side. They're not going to be able to run the football as well as they did, especially if they are crashing up front the way that they are. Excellent pursuit inside, but a great job by the D-line. And you'll see the difference here. Now HBU stays with their traditional 4-3, their base look on 3rd and long. And we got a penalty here by ACU.
A couple of guys gave up showing blitz and caused somebody to flinch. So now 3rd and 11. Turns into 3rd and 16.
Ball start.
And now you
Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
and you got it to 3rd and 16. So what happened? The big fellas came off, all the pass rushers went on, and now you don't have a defensive lineman on the field. You have nothing but linebackers, safeties, and corners, and you can dictate on 3rd and 17. But one thing you can't do, Tom, you can dictate, but you cannot lose contain. Must keep him in the pocket.
Formation heavily to the top side with 3 receivers that way. Sealy stays in the pocket, now throws underneath, caught and brought down back near the 39-yard line. Great tackle on the play by Tay Spahn. They only picked up 4, so it's going to be 4th down and a dozen, and probably a punting situation.
We'll see Cody Ennis, tight end slash tackle slash punter. See, I call him a tackle because 270. You add 10 pounds, you're a left tackle, my friend. No offense, but my world, you need to go to left tackle.
And he does it out of kind of a Wildcat formation. He's back only 7 yards. And he can throw out of this. But he also takes that one step and just punts it semi-rugby style. We'll get it inside the 20, and they'll down at the 17-yard line. He's the guy that they play position with when they really need to punt. They call it Austin Kilcohen. Timeout on the field, 5:21 left here, opening quarter. No score between HBU and Abilene Christian.
No, I didn't make that purchase. Someone must have my card number. So I can pick up a new debit card right now? Thank you. All right, everyone, follow me. Coach, the gym is that way. Okay, everyone, do some squats.
Come on. This may take a while. Here's your card.
Thank you.
Instant issue debit cards. Security, convenience, together.
Well, that was fast.
Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
Where next? The dentist? No, I didn't make that purchase. Someone must have my card number.
The doctors at
5:21 to play. Husky Stadium in the opening quarter. Southland Conference action between Houston Baptist University and Abilene Christian University. No score. Second possession coming up for HBU. It'll start at their own 17-yard line.
Defensive battle, Tom, right away. Abilene Christian got a couple of first downs, gave them a first down on last drive with the face mask, but that HBU defense stepping right into that same mold as they did against TSU last week. Now it's imperative for the offense to get it moving again and see if we can't get Terrence Peters involved in the action again.
2 receivers to the top of the formation for Tony Dawson, who will have Peters at his right shoulder. Fake it to Peters, quick throw on the outside, wide open. Streaking down the sideline is Wesley Lewis inside the 40, inside the 20. It'll be brought down from behind near the 15-yard line.
They lost him, Tom. There was nobody out there. They completely lost Lewis. I don't know how you lose a 6'6" wide receiver, but Abilene Christian completely missed it. Either that or the corner jumped that little short route, thinking that's what they were going to do. We got tempo inside the 15.
Keith Barnett with a touchdown-saving tackle. The give is to Peters, and he just bulls his way forward to near the 10-yard line.
Great read there by Tony Dawson to find the wide-open Lewis up the sideline. And you talk about igniting the fire in the offense. Man, that was it right there. Now's my buddy, Andre Ware says, University of Houston grad, of course, Tom Franklin. Get the big points. Field goal be nice, but the big points. Put this one in the end zone and take an early lead. Get some more confidence.
From the 10-yard line, 2nd down and 6. It's Peters again off the left side. And a nice short tackle made there at the 7-yard line. Coming up is number 13 to make the tackle, and that's Richard Griffin III.
Love to see safeties come up and make the sure open field tackle. HBU can still get a first down here, so 3rd and 4. Still got the whole playbook available to them, and they've got 6'5" wide receiver Barnett to the bottom of the screen, 6'6" wide receiver Lewis to the top of the screen. Keep an eye on those two guys down here in the red zone.
Dawson's going to stand and get a new play call from the sideline. And Vic Shealy's going to call timeout, I believe. They weren't quite sure with what they wanted to do, and play clock was starting to run down, so you don't want to negate this opportunity, so you take the timeout here.
No question. You get it here, it's one timeout. You punch this one in, you take a lead. Tom, we talk about confidence all the time with teams. I can only imagine what it was like to wake up on Sunday, you get the players to the facility, and you can pop on the film, and you can teach and show what they didn't do. Hey, here are the things we need to improve on. But oh, by the way, you won the football game. And the confidence that comes from that. And you can see that early on in this game. Now, how long confidence lasts, if it's like a gas tank and it stays with you the entire game, we'll see. But you had that confidence, a couple of good stops defensively, and now if the offense can punch it in and you get that 7-0 lead, think about what that does for this entire team, this entire program against the Southern Conference team that's got some really good athletes on the other side.
Well, remember last week when they got down here, they frittered away some opportunities. You know, they had 4 field goal tries, only converted on 2 of them. And you don't want to settle for a field goal here after having the big play on your first possession, on the first play of the possession that gets you down to the 14-yard line to set it up. You don't want to stop with 3. You want to finish this drive with 6.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, the big points. You get that 7-0, and again, how many times did we talk about it last week? They settled for field goal opportunities, and it almost came back to bite them because TSU was able to make a couple plays and stay in the game.
So here we go, 3rd down and 3 from the 7-yard line. They need to make the 4. Barnett will be on the near side. On the far side, you're going to have Isaiah Hall and Wesley Lewis. The H-back will be Mev Adjton. He'll be on the right. That's the shoulder that Terrence Peters will take. Now a new play for the sideline comes in with 12 on the play clock. Pitch. Oh, Peters fumbled the ball. The scrum is on at about the 4-yard line. Who's got it? HBU could have the first down if they've got the ball.
Great play call, Tom. It looks like HBU does have the ball. And the refs are pointing to the spot where the ball was fumbled. But, Tom, that's a great call. We saw that last week against Texas Southern. That speed option into the Abilene Christian sideline just couldn't hang on to the pitch. But I'll tell you this, if Peters hangs on to the pitch, I think he runs to the pylon and he's in the end zone. Worst case, he gets the first down, but he's unable to hang on to the pitch. And the referees are talking about it right now. We got a little congregation of stripes over there trying to figure out where this ball, should be spotted.
This could be interesting because the offense can't advance the ball, but he didn't intentionally advance the ball with the fumble.
Now, when it's fumbled on 4th down, that makes a difference. This was only 3rd down.
Right.
So we'll see. And Abilene Christian got a little bit of penetration. That's the only drawback to running speed option there, is that the defensive end can get his hand in there. He just got enough to not make it a clean pitch out to Terrence Peters.
Here's Dan Lewis.
Bert.
Well, we lost Dan Lewis's microphone.
Take it.
And the recovery is
Now
going to be
measure
spotted
to see if it's a first down or not.
back at the 5-yard line. So that's not where the ball was recovered.
So according to where the ball is spotted right now, they're about a yard short.
Okay, and we just heard the PA announcer say there was an inadvertent whistle as well that stopped the play.
Defensive end, boom, right there. Excellent job by number 37 for Abilene Christian.
And I think there is where they blew the whistle thinking that Peters was going to recover, but the ball squirted out. and that's why they moved it back to the 5-yard line.
Dylan Douglas, excellent job there to force a difficult pitch out to Peters, and that's why he couldn't hang on to it. But then it was a mad scrum. And look, there are a lot of places I've been in my life, Tom, all kinds of different situations. You know, the one place that I hated worse than anything else was at the bottom of a pile like that. It's the worst place in the world to be, in a pile like that. But HBU got the ball back, and it looks like they've got a 4th down. And the offense is staying on the field at this moment, but you see Coach Seeley talking it over with his coaching staff to see what they want to do.
You're not the first player to tell me, or ex-player to tell me, that you don't want to know what goes on at the bottom of a scrum when there's a loose ball on the field in football.
Yeah, I don't think the FCC, SEC, any commission of any sort would like.
Houston Baptist is elected to replay the down. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Okay, because of the inadvertent whistle, they're going to get to replay the down. I think had the result of the play netted them a 1st down, they would have taken the result of the play. But because of the inadvertent whistle, they go back to the drawing board. 3rd down and 3 again from back at the 7-yard line.
It feels almost like you're playing in street football. It's a do-over.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it feels like.
Same formation. Let's see what they do this time. 10 seconds on the play clock for Dawson as he settles in. Blitz coming. Peters up the middle, will walk in untouched. Terrence Peters goes in from 7 yards away, and Houston Baptist draws first blood at 6-0.
Great call by the HBU offensive staff. Right before the ball was snapped, you could see the outside linebacker for ACU widen out, expecting again the speed option. When he widened out, here came inside zone. Terrence Peters on into the end zone. Great call, great execution, great run, and a great start for HBU in this one.
The 69-yard pass and run to Wesley Lewis sets it up as Alex Chadwick boots the extra point through. And with 3:22 left here in the opening quarter, Houston Baptist goes on top by a score of 7-0 thanks to a 7-yard scoring run from Terrence Peters.
The doctors at US Pain and Spine are remarkable. They work with you, and the staff is wonderful. Smiles on the face. When you go in when you're in pain, that helps. The quality of life since coming here is great. We live near a pond, and I like to feed the ducks. If I hadn't been going to get help with the doctors and the staff, I would not have been able to do something I really look forward to do every day.
US Pain and Spine Institute. We make life better.
Seven 0 Houston Baptist on top, thanks to a 7-yard touchdown run from Terrence Peters. Capped off a 4-play, 83-yard drive, took 1 minute and 59 seconds. And the critical play in that was a 67-yard pass and run by Wesley Lewis.
Excellent play by Tony Dawson to find Lewis up the sideline. And then he was off to the races. ACU did catch him, but I love the play call on 3rd down. I love the speed option play call that, well, essentially was the do-over.
Right.
But then the inside zone, right before the play, you saw the outside linebacker just out there just a little bit, and that was enough to get Terrence Peters on into the end zone. He had a great ball game last week. He was honorable mention, Southland Conference Player of the Week. He's starting off this week pretty well, Tom, with that first touchdown with HBU a 7-0 lead.
Alex Chadwick to kick it away. DJ Fuller is back deep at the goal line.
Let's go, Huskies! Come on, Dog!
Line drive kick will go well out of the back of the end zone. And the hometown fans very happy here with the start of this ball game. Abilene Christian has not been a great opponent for HBU in the past. They've met 3 times prior. And the average score of those 3 previous meetings was 59-16.
Tom, I've been as a coach on the end of some of those, but I've also been in a situation where the next year you flip the script a little bit, and you can see in your players the confidence start to build, and a 7-0 lead can definitely do that.
Play fake, Seeley throws out of the backfield, and he will hit his tight end. And that's Trevor Crane, and he'll get across the 30 to about the 33-yard line for an 8-yard pickup.
Simple zone read boot, get Seeley on the move a little bit. Same play they hit Ennis with a little while ago. You get the 2nd and 2. Here it is. Seeley pops out, wide open, gets up the field, and now we got ACU back again.
Handoff is to James, and James is swarmed at the line of scrimmage. Tried to bounce back and reverse his field, but blue shirts were everywhere he looked.
2nd and 2, you got the whole playbook in front of you, and HCU decides to run inside zone again, and HBU's front will not be moved. They are playing extremely well. Tyler Hilaire out there is playing very well. We've seen Holly make plays inside. They've done a nice job.
Little sweep action as they come back in with Duncan, and Duncan will get the first down, diving across the 35. It'll be down at about the 38-yard line. Finally taken down on the outside by Doran Turner, the linebacker.
Move the sticks. Zone gets to the outside. Cannot make the play. Excellent block out there by the wide receivers. Stalk blocking, keeping the linebackers occupied.
On 1st and 10, Seeley throwing near sideline. Ball caught, missed tackle. And running free on the near sideline, down inside the 30 and out of bounds is Troy Grant, 6'4" junior, who makes a big play after the missed tackle on the outside.
That's an impressive looking athlete. You see Seeley get out of the pocket here, finds Grant. I was watching Grant earlier, missed tackle right there by Hardiman. And Seeley's back with the ball.
Throwing on the outside, good catch on the outside and wrestled down from behind. Just across the 20-yard line, close to the 19-yard line, was Fuller, and the player who made the tackle is shaken up on the play. And I believe that is Avery Wright, number 41.
That play looked like it had possibilities. If Avery Wright isn't there, I think Fuller sprints into the end zone, sort of like Will Fuller did for the Houston Texans last week. DJ Fuller is probably the most dynamic player ACU has on the offensive side of the ball, and they were trying to get him involved. He hasn't seen a target yet. They were trying to get him there on that one. Great play by Avery Wright. He's a little banged up.
How about the FCS standings this week, and how about the team at the top, North Dakota State, going into Iowa and taking down the Hawkeyes 23-21.
How about North Dakota State has a win over Iowa? How about the fact that Richmond has a win over Virginia? Eastern Washington has a win over Washington State. Those top 12 teams have knocked off some big FBS schools in Power 5 conferences. The one that stands out is what NDSU did to Iowa. How about this, Tom? In the 4th quarter, NDSU 127 yards to Iowa's -9. In the 4th quarter.
And Iowa at home.
At home.
That's crazy.
Chris Kleeman knows what he's doing up at NDSU.
2nd down and about 5, just inside the 20-yard line. Backwards pass. This is Miller, and he is buried by Dolan. Oh, man.
Garrett Dolan, one of the best tacklers in the Southland Conference. This is how you do it out in space. First guy miss, there's number 40. On the spot, what a stick. That's how you teach it. If you're a linebacker coach, that gives you chills up and down your spine because that's the way it's done. Excellent job, loss of yardage. Now it's 3rd and 9. Now ACU's in trouble on 3rd and long because now HBU's got all the pass rushers on the field.
Miller goes off the field, holding his helmet to his side. He's got to check, make sure everything's still in place after that hit. 3rd down and 19. Under pressure, Seeley, he'll get away. Throwing on the run for the end zone, caught! Fuller for the touchdown. What a pass by Fuller as he got behind Chris Taylor for the score.
Fuller's a special talent, but that play was Dallas Seeley. He avoided the safety blitz. HBU brought some pressure late. Great pickup there by the running back. But that was all Dallas Seeley creating, and then Fuller moving to the outside and getting behind the corners. Scramble drill, Tom. If you run short and he scrambles, then you go long. If you ran long and he scrambles, you come back to him. Great job there by DJ Fuller. He had a little short route. Oh, they're going for two.
Parker McKenzie throwing on the outside, and it is caught. The catch on the outside by Dylan Douglas, who is a backup tight end, and Abilene Christian takes an 8-7 lead with a 2-point conversion.
Well, how about that? Things change very quickly. A little 2-point, just like Oregon does each and every first touchdown they score. They're going to go for two in some way, shape, or form. And that's what they did right there. Parker McKenzie was an all-Southland Conference quarterback. You look at Seeley right here. Look at him avoid the rush and then get out and find Fuller right there, get behind the defense. There's Fuller. He ran short, and then when he scrambled, he knew immediately, get long, just keep going, and Seeley found him with a great touch pass. He did that same exact thing at Air Force for one of his touchdowns. DJ Fuller, like I said, might be the best athlete that ACU has. Excellent job there. He was well short of the sticks with his route. That was just a little 5-yard hitch. But as soon as Seeley made guys miss, he took off. Seeley found him. And then, of course, the 2-point conversion there makes it 8-7. Abilene Christian with HBU about to get the ball back.
7 plays, 75 yards, 221, capped off by the touchdown pass. 23 yards to Fuller, his 3rd touchdown reception of the season. 8-7 our score. And Brandon Kahn to kick it off for the Wildcats. It'll hit inside the 15. It'll be fielded by a short man. Across the 20 and out to about the 21-yard line. He had the backspin on that looked like a wedge shot. And the short man taking the ball was Josh Irwin, backup defensive back.
Good recognition to find that kick after it hit the turf. All right, we're going to take a look at this conversion. And it was pretty simple. Dylan Douglas is matched up on a corner. They just snapped it to Parker McKenzie. We're just going to throw a fade route. Dylan Douglas a little bit bigger than Derek Broussard.
Pretty good coverage by Broussard. But
yeah, he was hanging on him like a cheap suit. Douglas made a great play. That's a defensive end making that play. Nice catch there by Dylan Douglas. Makes it 8-7.
So down by 1, the Huskies have the ball back from their own 21. Option play for Peters. Tries to reverse his field. And he'll go down at about the 25-yard line. I thought he was going to try and repeat last week's touchdown run, only on the other side. He ran left and cut back right. This play was going right, and he was looking for the cutback left.
Yeah, that speed option again. Run it into the boundary as they do with Terrence Peters. You see ACU in their 4-3 defense. The safety was, they had 2 high safeties. It's a good look because you isolate the defensive end. You pick up 4 yards, set up a pretty manageable 2nd and 6.
2 receivers to the near side. Dawson will keep on the option, will run to the corner, and he'll have the first down. He'll step out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Chased out of bounds there by Richard Griffin III.
And we talked a lot about Dallas Seeley, Tom, and what he can do off schedule. Hey, Tony Dawson says, check me out. I can do it too. That's a big first down after a touchdown score to move the chain, get it moving a little bit, get the offense and get your tempo back up. And here with Tony Dawson.
Ran 6 times for 46 yards last week, and here's Peters again. And Peters tough to bring down, even though he's only 190 pounds, as he gets out to about the 38-yard line.
That completes the first quarter.
That'll be the end of a very entertaining first quarter. We thought we were going to have a good ball game tonight here from Husky Stadium, and so far they have not disappointed. Abilene Christian with an 8-7 lead after the first 15 minutes.
Boys, thanks for the heads up on the conversion.
And around the world, representing 13 member institutions.
From Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana.
Excelling in 17 NCAA Division I sports.
In the classroom. And in our communities.
We are Southland Strong.
didn't make that purchase. Someone must have my card. No, I didn't make that purchase.
Eight to 7, Abilene Christian with the lead after the first quarter. Very even first quarter. 133 yards for Abilene Christian, 123 for Houston Baptist. The Huskies with the ball, second down and 4 from their own 38-yard line as we start the second quarter. Delayed handoff, and Peters hit the backfield, and he'll be brought down for a loss. Big number 90, LaMarcus Allen, the junior out of Prosper, Texas, with the tackle.
Took a little time for that Packer sweep to develop there. Peters had to hold up to try and let his blockers get in front of him. Could not do it. Great penetration there from the backside by Abilene Christian's front.
Now it's third down and 5. Big play here for the HBU offense as they try to answer the Abilene Christian touchdown and two-point conversion. Dawson to throw on the outside, right through the hands of Brandon Taylor. He would have had the first down, but he couldn't hang on.
Can't throw it any better than that, Tom. Really can't. Get a little bit of pressure. The pocket's starting to develop around you. Right there, he's got to throw it over Josh Bloom. In between he and Douglas. Taylor's wide open. That could have been a big play. That would have ended up on our big play tracker, which you can follow on bigplaytracker.com.
So now Fuller and Miller will drop back to receive the punt from Guzman. Guzman with a knuckleball this time. Will hit inside the 25, taken on a hop by Fuller. Fuller up to the 30. And he'll be spun down at about the 31-yard line. But boy, he is Mr. Excitement when he puts his hands on the football, isn't he, John?
Man, I like to watch him. There's something about the name Fuller in this town. DJ Fuller tonight, hopefully Will Fuller on Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. And how about this, Tom?
Back in the Oiler heydays, William Fuller, the outstanding defensive end.
My goodness, yeah, a lot of Fullers. Charkandrick West, who will get, I would imagine, a bunch of carries tomorrow for the Chiefs along with Spencer Ware. Abilene Christian grad.
You do too much homework. You need
know,
a life, you know?
I do. My wife says the same thing, but it's never going to change. Sorry, hon.
Two receivers to either side on 1st and 10 for Abilene Christian for their own 31. Jet sweep for Miller. Turns the corner, got away from Dolan. Will be tripped up as he dives out near the 40-yard line. Doran was the guy who made the tackle down at the ankles.
Hey, DJ Fuller's not the only athlete out there. Miller got that ball, and I wish I could make the sound that he made as he was going across there, but man, he has got some speed.
A little bit of a whoosh action.
Yes.
On the outside, throw the bubble screen, and it's caught for a short gain by Kalen Sadler.
Another first down for ACU. They move the chain, and that, again, we talked about this, same for HBU. First downs are currency. It allows you to keep the tempo going, but ACU going a little slower right now just to make sure that they're in the right play here on first down.
From the 44-yard line, straight ahead run, and bulling his way into HBU territory is Adrian Duncan for about an 8-yard pickup.
Big fella, straight up in the A-gaps. Give it to him. And I'll tell you what, Tom, Duncan runs hard, and he's back at it right here.
He's got it again, got a hole, and Dolan has to hang on for dear life to bring him down at the 40-yard line, but that's another 8-yard pickup.
This is just inside zone. This is hat on a hat. ACU's offensive line winning right now, and Adrian Duncan taking advantage of it.
They are putting the pedal to the metal. Pump fake on the short ball. Going to throw the deep ball down to the near sideline. An overthrow on the intended receiver, Troy Grant.
Good coverage back there by Derek Broussard. I'd imagine he likes covering receivers more than he likes covering defensive ends. But nice job there. Latravian G made that throw a little bit harder by getting underneath that route as Grant went down the field.
Brings up second down and 10.
Tom, ACU's got some wide receivers. Fuller and Miller can fly. And Grant, I was down on the field before the game. He is a legit 6'4". Again, we got a bunch of small forwards playing the wide receiver position here in college football.
Second down and 10 from the HBU 40. Running play, James hit in the backfield, will be brought down. But the guy who came across first was Cameron Lacroix. He slowed it down for the posse to come behind.
Last week he was tremendous against TSU. Made the play, knifing into the backfield, slowing that run, allowing his other defenders to get there and finish the tackle and get that tackle for a loss, setting up a 3rd and long. Sealy has been excellent on 3rd and long. It is imperative he stays in the pocket. Massive play right here for the HBU defense.
And whistles coming in. Penalty marker down. False start. 3rd and long, got 3rd and longer.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
The key in rushing a guy like Sealy, your defensive ends can't get past him. If they run too far upfield past him, Sealy can duck inside and get back out and then see the entire field. The defensive ends rushing are the key here. They've got to keep him in the pocket and they can't rush past him. If they do that, he'll have some trouble throwing from that pocket tonight.
On the air, ACU 43% on 3rd down tonight so far, 4 out of 6. 3rd and 16, however, from the 46-yard line in HBU territory. Blitz shown, blitz coming. They pick it up, Sealy throws over the middle. It is caught. And driving forward to about the 33-yard line. Is that the big tight end, Ennis? It was.
Ennis again.
But he's going to be a couple of yards shy of the 1st down, and Abilene Christian looks like they're going to go for it here.
HBU is a little discombobulated too. And there comes a timeout. Yeah, HBU is a little discombobulated. Didn't know what group it needed to have on the field. This actually is a good timeout, Tom. Once you get that, ACU knew right away. Going for this on 4th down. They hustled up to the line.
Houston Baptist, their 2nd of the half.
And HBU wasn't quite sure what they wanted to do. So get to a timeout.
And we'll take it with them. 11:46 to go in a very entertaining ball game tonight from Husky Stadium with the visiting Wildcats from Abilene Christian up by 1.
Reading some better gas mileage. Wonder what they are.
Corrosion inhibitor.
Solvent fluid.
Demulsifier.
Fuel detergent number 1.
Fuel detergent number 2.
Anti-adhesion compound.
And marker molecules.
Wow. I did not know that.
With 7 key ingredients, new Synergy gasoline is engineered to help give you better gas mileage. Exxon and Mobil. Energy lives here.
Big 4th down and 2 for Abilene Christian with a 1-point lead. They're at the HBU 32-yard line. 2 out of 4 on 4th down conversions for the season.
All right, offensive coordinator Franklin, what do you call here, 4th and 2?
I keep the ball in number 1's hands and let him do what he thinks is best.
You'd be a pretty good offensive coordinator, my friend.
Got the blocking back in front. James is the running back at his right shoulder. Sealy to James, hit by Doran in the backfield. He may be short of the 30-yard line. Doran Turner.
What a great play by Doran Turner right here. Look at him come from the backside. That is all hustle right there. That play, Tom, should have popped into the open. But Turner coming from the backside, stopped that play. What a great job there by HBU's defense. Got rattled a little bit there on that drive, but got to stop there on key 4th down play.
Let's take a look at our big play tracker while we've got a minute on the change of possession here at the 31-yard line. See how it compares to our score, which is 8-7 in the ball game. And right now, the big play tracker is even up at 7-7. We'll see if we can get to it after this first play. HBU takes over on downs at their own 31. Dawson throws and cannot be controlled by Peters on the outside. And you can see the frustration as he goes ripping at that chin strap, saying, my goodness, how did I miss that?
3 throws tonight that should have been caught, could have been big plays. Tony Dawson's throwing it as well as he possibly can. In week 1 against Central Arkansas, he did not throw it well. Last week he threw very well and his receivers held on to everything. Tonight, they're letting him down, at least early in the game.
2nd down and 10. Sweep action. Peters eludes one tackle, eludes another tackle, and got a yard after all was said and done, and took a big hit from Jabari Butler to go down. Now let's see if we can get that big game tracker up there for you. See, the offensive big play is about even. 2 big plays for Abilene Christian to get up there. You see the frequency of big plays. So far, the special teams have not figured, even though they got a 2-point conversion.
But you got to think that defensively, HBU has made some pivotal plays throughout this game, getting that last 4th down stop. I would imagine we'll get up on the big play tracker here in the 2nd quarter.
Dawson under pressure, escapes, has some room up the middle, across the 40, across the 45. It'll be tripped up at about the 47-yard line. Coming up to make the tackle out of the backfield was DJ Arnold.
Look at his spin moves. Dawson gets a little pressure. Here's the spin. Whoop! Give me another spin, Tony Dawson. Whoop! Right there. Look at that.
He says, Dallas Sealy, you're not the only guy who can run the ball. 1st down, it's Peters taking it up the gut. But check that, number 5, B.J. Kelly in for his first appearance.
This is the first time that we've seen B.J. Kelly in the game, as Terrence Peters has seen the rock throughout the 1st quarter up till now. But that was a big key, I thought, for HBU last week, was keeping all the running backs fresh, which allowed Terrence Peters to be ultra fresh in the 4th quarter. A nice little pickup there by B.J. Kelly, who's got some juice inside.
Empty backfield now on 2nd down, but a bad snap. Dawson picks it up, scrambles near side, and just overthrows everybody on the sideline. That low snap just messed up the entire timing of that play.
Timing was key on that route. They were trying to work a little combination route into the HBU sideline, and as soon as the snap went bad, the timing was off. Best thing for Tony to do is get rid of it, live to see 3rd down.
B.J. Kelly is a guy they thought could do big things from that running back position, but he's had a hard time staying on the field. Injuries have cost him playing time in each of his first 2 seasons.
Made a couple of really nice plays last week against TSU that sort of got his confidence working, and now we're seeing him here early in the 2nd quarter.
Big 3rd down play for the Huskies. Dawson throws over the middle, and he had Taylor wide open. It was just beyond his fingertips.
Oh my goodness, Tony would like to have that one back. He did get a little pressure, a little twist stunt. Right there you see defensive lineman DeJuan Edmondson for Abilene Christian get in his face, and it forced just a little bit too much. But they will come back to that route. I guarantee you that's a route that can get a guy wide open down the seam. And man, Taylor was wide open. Tony would like to have that one back, Tom.
Now Justin Miller and Josh Finker back deep. Miller will take this punt at the 14-yard line. He's got some daylight as he goes to the far sideline, 30, 40-yard line, and finally wrestled out of bounds across the 45. But a big return for Justin Miller.
Look at the juice right here. He finds a seam, and he gets to the sideline. And you can see the wheels right there on number 18. That guy is speed personified. I'd imagine ACU is going to try and get him involved in the offense throughout the rest of this game, because that guy's got some juice that HBU is having a hard time matching. But there's your first special teams big play. And Tom, last week we saw Austin Watts for TSU take one the distance on HBU's punt team. That is something they got to shore up, because this is great field position for Dallas Sealy to get the football.
Saving tackle by Ari Nelson Henton on the outside. Also over there was the punter Guzman. We got the wrong football in, so we got to change the ball.
Everybody thinks, oh, it's the same ball, right? It's football,
no, it's
right?
not.
Nope, it is absolutely not.
Each manufacturer's ball is a little bit different.
That is ACU's football. They want that ball. And it's all the quarterbacks. All the pretty boys want their football out there. You can tell I played defense at one point.
Dallas Seeley from the gun. Straightaway handoff up the middle. Duncan got tripped up. May have saved a big play. That was number 45, Dwight Tucker, who made the saving tackle there.
That's a house call if Tucker doesn't make that shoestring tackle. Duncan is off to the races.
6-yard pickup, give it to him again up the middle. And coming from behind to make the stop is Teron Simmons. He'll hold it to a 2-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
One thing HBU's done really well, first down runs, they've given up chunks of yardage, but on 2nd down and even 3rd down, they've done a really nice job. I don't know why it's 2nd and 3rd down, why they're not playing better on 1st down, but 2nd and 3rd down, they've come up with some good stops to put Seeley in 3rd down situations.
Oh, they show blitz, and Garrett Dolan with a rare mistake. He got in the neutral zone and may have made contact, and will make this a free 1st down on the offside call.
Offside. Defense, number 40, 5-yard penalty, results in a 1st down.
See Dolan with the late blitz, just a little bit too much. Tried to time it up, as he has a number of times tonight when he has arrived on the blitz, just arrived a little bit too far upfield on that one. Gave the 1st down to Abilene Christian.
Ball at the 40-yard line. The Wildcats with a 1-point lead, and up the middle goes Duncan again for a sizable gain of 7. He is starting to thrive on 1st down, as you mentioned, John, and we got an injured HBU Husky down at about the 43-yard line, and this looks like Doran Turner, one of those big senior linebackers who they rely on so much.
This linebacking core for HBU has been outstanding last couple of weeks and have been great up through this point.
Let's take a look at other action from around the Southland today. Nichols knocking off Incarnate Word. At the half, Stephen F. Austin with a 3-point lead against McNeese. Central Arkansas up by a couple of touchdowns. Sam Houston State out early against Lamar. Sam Houston State will be here in Houston next week to take on these same HBU Huskies. Another game you can see here on Fox College Sports.
And October 1st, they'll be over at NRG Stadium for the Battle of the Piney Woods. Sam Houston State and Stephen F. Austin, October 1st over at NRG Stadium.
One of the long-standing rivalries within the state of Texas, as the attention is still being paid to Doran Turner, face down on the ground at about the 37-yard line in HBU territory. It's got everything very quiet here at Husky Stadium.
One thing Abilene Christian's been able to do in the last few drives is they've been feeding Duncan nothing but inside zone, just inside blast, just running right through the A-gaps. And he has found a seam numerous times in that defense. And it's forced those second-level defenders, Turner and Dolan, to have to make those stops against the guy running full speed right through the middle of the formation.
Let me ask you a question as a guy who's played the game before and how much difference it makes. It doesn't make as much difference here when guys run shotgun formation here. But Austin Hissler is the center for Abilene Christian. But he's a left-handed center.
Yeah.
If a guy is under center, does it make a difference on how that ball comes back on a snap count, whether it's coming from the right hand or the left hand, since most of the time it's a right-handed center?
Some quarterbacks will tell you that it looks weird, that it looks strange coming back from a left-handed center. Some won't notice it. The ones that really have the hardest time, because they're the biggest divas in the world, are the receivers. The receivers see it from a left-handed quarterback, and then they drop it, they catch him a right-hander, and their first thought is, well, if that would have been from a right-handed quarterback, I would have caught it. So they're the bigger problem than the quarterbacks.
Okay.
But sometimes some quarterbacks will see it and come back differently, but you get used to it. And Seeley's been behind Hissler throughout this entire year, so I wouldn't think it's a problem for him. I think it would be more a problem for the wide receivers because, well, you know how they are.
Let's go down on the field and Jeff Power. Let's see what he's got. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, HBU this fall just announced that they have a new PhD program that was launched this fall, part of the College of Education. And coming up at halftime, we're going to talk to Charles Baccaris, who is the vice president here at HBU for Major Gifts. We're going to talk about that and other things going on here for the Huskies coming up here at halftime. Guys, back to you.
Well, they have rolled Doran Turner over. They now have him on his back. It looks like this is going to be an extensive delay, so we'll take the timeout with him. 8 minutes, 41 seconds to play first half. Abilene Christian with an 8-7 lead over Houston Baptist as they roll the stretcher on the field for Doran Turner. We'll be back with more after this timeout.
No, I didn't make that purchase. Someone must have my card number. So I can pick up a new debit card right now? Thank you. All right, everyone, follow me.
But Coach, the gym is that way.
Okay, everyone, do some squats.
Come on. This may take a while. Here's your card.
Thank you.
Instant issue debit cards. Security, convenience, together.
Well, that was fast.
Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
Where next? The dentist?
Back here at Husky Stadium as the medical staffs attend to Doran Turner, the injured linebacker for Houston Baptist. Will give us the time to take a look at the big play tracker, unlocking the power of the big plays in ball games. And you see that Abilene Christian getting a big play on offense once every 5.7 snaps, which is pretty good frequency when you get down that much, just over the first set of downs. That's doing pretty good, about the ratio they had last week in the game against Northern Colorado.
Yeah, a game in which they put up 52 points, Tom. Keep that in mind. And HBU's held up to 8 thus far as the training staffs are out on the field right now, still looking at Doran Turner, the outstanding linebacker for HBU. He was, and we've seen him move his legs and move his hands and move his arms, but it does look like they will be taking him off on the stretcher, but he has been moving his legs. He has been moving his hands. I saw his hands move a little bit, Tom. So if there's any good news in this situation, that might be it right now.
But they're taking every precaution to make sure that they do nothing to aggravate whatever injury, the situation that this is, to keep him and his body as stable as possible so they can get him into the medical facility and take a better look at him and see how he is. But he would be a big loss because that linebacking core of Turner, Dolan, and Moncourt is really the strength of this HBU defense, and how Taylor Holmes, the junior out of Cypress, Texas, come in and fill his spot will be maybe critical in the remainder of this ball game, the second half, and the 8:41 to play here in the second quarter.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, how many big plays did Turner make, not only tonight thus far, but also last week against TSU? And what it does for your defensive staff is you have to adjust, because there's so many things that you were doing with Turner, different blitzes that you were running. Will you run the same blitzes with Holmes? Will you run the same dogs and stunts that you were running? Does he know exactly where he needs to be in coverage? Because these guys have played so often together at linebacker, as defensive coordinator, you rely on them so much that you're often on the same page. And so now you've got a young man coming in Holmes, to see whether he can handle all those things cerebrally. And if he can, then you'll be okay. But is he going to line up in the right spots? Are you going to have to back off a little bit? And look, right now, with Abilene Christian, it's all about a man's game. They're deciding to turn this into a run game between the A-gaps. And are you going to step up and make that tackle when you need to, as they have tonight for the most part, other than a couple of the first downs that Duncan has reeled off some really nice chunks of yards early on.
Here's the play, and let's see if we can pick up Turner and where he gets hurt. You see him right there. Oh, we got a helmet right into the hip bone of the offensive lineman. I think that was Dakota Laws, the left tackle who was pulling on the play, and I mean, his helmet just went straight into his hip.
You know, sometimes with injuries like this, Tom, it almost looks like an innocuous play. You just watch it and you think, well, it didn't look that bad, but it just takes 1 centimeter here, 1 millimeter
just hitting
there,
it the right way.
Hitting it the right way. And then right at the end of the play, it looked like an HBU player kind of landed on top of him at that particular point. Like we said, he has moved his legs. We have seen him move his feet, his hands. But at this point, you take the precaution and you get him in and you do test and you evaluate him. As a coach, Vic Shealy is out on the field looking at Doran Turner right now. And it's the worst feeling in the world because
it's very helpless feeling.
Exactly. Because you just, as a coach, yes, you want the next play to be the best play. You want your team to win the game. But down deep, you want all 11 guys to get up after every single play.
Well, I think now HBU is going to gather here and collectively as a team pay their respects to their fallen comrade out on the field as they get ready to load him on the stretcher and take him away. But HBU, a very faith-based university, as is Abilene Christian.
Yep.
And the players from both sides very respectful in this circumstance to one of their brothers being injured, whether he's wearing the same color uniform as you or not. You never like to see a player get hurt in a ball game, and you see HBU playing tribute and wishing their very best for their fallen teammate Doran Turner.
You brought up a good word, Tom, and that's brothers. Even though it can be contentious on both sides, it's competitive, but it is a brotherhood. The guys that play, it doesn't matter what team you're on. You want everybody to be healthy and to be safe and to make it through. You just want your team to score more points than the other guy. But there is a brotherhood. For all the guys that put the pads on and put the helmet on each and every day and go to practice and play these games on Saturday night, they know the work that goes into it. They know what is all involved in building a program, building a team, being a teammate, being a great teammate. And when they see one of them down on either side, it just leaves such a residue. I can imagine what these players are feeling right now as they see their teammate and they see their foe out on the field. And you see Abilene Christian now, the offense getting together, and they're saying a prayer as well for Doran Turner.
And here comes the rest of the reserves off the bench, and the same tribute is going to be paid across the way. And you love to see that sportsmanship and brotherhood and camaraderie between two teams. You know, you are enemies when you're between the stripes, but you know, you're all equals when the whistle is over with and you walk off the field at the end of a ball game.
And one thing that you notice if we get a shot down on the field, you see blue shirts, you see purple shirts. The training staffs from both teams
have attended
to Doran Turner, which is, again, showing the teamwork amongst these two universities at this particular moment, and a tough one for any team, any player, any program to have to go through. And I mentioned Andre Ware a little while ago, and Andre, I get a chance to spend Sunday afternoon with Andre as I'm the sideline reporter for the Houston Texans, and Andre was calling the Georgia and Southern University game last year, and they had a situation where a player on the sideline for Southern came down, I think it was on a punt return, and he went to go make a tackle, and he had a hit very similar to this one, and he ended up having to stay in Athens, Georgia, as they did work on him, and he ended up being okay. And I just remember asking Andre, what were you feeling at the moment? And he said it was so tough to finish the game because you knew what had happened to him. Now you see Doran Turner put the thumb up. We have seen him move, so we do know that. And that was the difference in the game with Georgia and Southern. That young man was not able to move his arms and legs until they were able to get him to the hospital. And so it just left a pall over Sanford Stadium that day for him at that particular moment. So we hope Doran Turner is going to be fine. Our thoughts are with him as well.
You know, very, very interesting as to how the rest of this game plays and what the effect is from a mental standpoint to both teams, because this was a highly competitive back and forth game for the first almost 22 minutes of the ball game, through the first quarter and the first 6 minutes and 19 seconds here in the second.
You see Doran Turner give the thumbs up right there. He's done it a couple times, so he's able to move his legs. He's been able to move his hands and arms, and that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Hope all is well for Doran Turner.
But we still have a long way to go, and now suddenly you after having this dramatic incident take place, as you see Turner going off the field on the stretcher. Now all of a sudden these guys got to get back into that mindset where they were, you know, say 15 minutes ago when the stoppage in play came.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, a round of applause for our HBU Husky, Doran Turner.
Turner, second leading tackler on the team coming into today's ball game with 18 tackles, including a sack and a tackle for loss. And a big playmaker on this HBU defense, and a part of that linebacking core that does so much for Roger Hinshaw and Charlie Camp. Now the players start to come back onto the field and say, all right, we got to find something to do here. It looks as though Kyle Bowling is going to play that linebacker spot, number 42, and not Taylor Holmes.
And this is imperative right now for captains on both sides to step up and be leaders and get their teams refocused on what they have left in this game.
Flea flicker. Seeley launching it for the end zone. Overthrew his intended receiver. Miller was back there, and Latravian G was there on coverage.
Give G a lot of credit. As I saw the reverse, I knew it was coming, so I watched the wide receiver run down the field, and G happened to see it at just the right moment. Right there, I started looking downfield. It's actually not a bad play call to come out of that stoppage in play. And G, pretty good shape back there, just disrupted that route enough, and Seeley overshot him, and now we got third and short.
Third down and a couple to go. Running play up the middle. Duncan pulling men forward, and he'll have the first down, I think, depending on the spot, near the 31-yard line.
Garrett Dola makes the tackle.
And he's going to be shy. Right back at it, and under center goes Seeley. Trying for the quarterback sneak. They fumbled the snap. The snap was late. I think we're going to get a false start, perhaps. There's a marker down here on the side. Did somebody get in the neutral zone?
That play was discombobulated from jump. The head linesman over on the HBU sideline will get the call right here.
Here's Dan Lewis. See if his microphone will work for us.
Ball start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4.
Yeah, the center was a half of being slow on the snap.
Here's a look at it. You see ACU moving.
See,
everybody's
there
moving.
they go. And there, finally, the snap comes up.
Seeley was looking for the football. He was ready to run, and he didn't get to it. But I'll tell you this, Tom, that actually, well, it looks like Ennis is going to be back here in punt formation for him.
Yeah, Wildcat formation, but he can kick it, he can throw it.
Air Force! Pass TT!
Because I watched him during pregame warmups, and he warms up his arm just like a quarterback does. But he'll kick this one away.
Peter!
Nobody back for HBU, and he takes a nice side hop and will go out of bounds near the 6-yard line. Good job done there by Ennis, the sophomore out of Madison High School in San Antonio.
HBU backed up inside their 10-yard line. I like to roll the dice a little bit, Tom. I was a little bit surprised on 4th and 6 with Seeley, with Fuller and Miller, and Duncan at running back, that they didn't decide to go for that. I thought with 4th and 6 they have a little bit more room, and instead of a quarterback sneak, that they could do a little something, get Seeley out to the perimeter. A little surprised they went with the punt there. Backs up HBU. I understand that, but I thought maybe roll the dice there with Seeley and see if he couldn't pick up that first down.
So with Kelly as the running back, Tony Dawson back on at the controls. Give to Kelly, finds some room over the right, eludes one tackler. It jumps across the 10 to 11 or 12-yard line. Nice pickup on first down for B.J. Kelly.
What a little sidestep right there by B.J. Kelly, and Brandon Richmond, the strong safety. Looked like Richmond was going to come up and make that tackle, and Kelly gave just a little sidestep, and Richmond was grabbing air, and Kelly picked up another couple of yards to set up a 2nd and 5. Nice run there by B.J. Kelly.
Big tall receivers Lewis and Barnett on the far side on 2nd down 4. Fake it to Kelly, throw on the outside to diving catch the ball. A little bit wide. Mev Edgston did a nice job to bring it in, but he's going to be shy of the first down marker. No, they say move it at the 16-yard line. Just enough.
And that's a throw. We talk about Tony Dawson making some good throws tonight, Tom. This is one he'd like to have back, because if he hits Edgston with that throw in stride, he had all kinds of room out to that left side of the formation.
1st and 10 for the Huskies. Movement at the line of scrimmage. No flag, and the ball is almost intercepted. Jabari Butler jumped the route on the outside, and Dawson got away with one there.
Looks like we got a flag on the far side, and it looks like the referee is signaling offside on ACU.
I thought I saw a movement. I didn't see the flag come out, but there it is. And the offside is going to be the signal.
5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
But Tom, to your point about Jabari Butler, what a break on the football right there. What a great break, read it perfectly. Southland Conference Freshman of the Year in 2015. He's not a guy that HBU has made a living throwing at tonight, and you can see why.
From Potomac, Maryland, found his way to Abilene, Texas. 1st and 5 now. Swing it outside. And Kelly will take the ball across the 25-yard line to the 26. He'll be brought down about a yard shy of the first down. Denmark making the tackle there. Haven't called his name too much so far.
Yeah, he was the leading tackler in FCS in solo tackles last year, made his first of the night.
Quick throw on the outside, and again, Dawson a little bit too quick with that delivery. And if it was caught, it's going to be caught for negative yardage back at the 25-yard line, and it was caught by Isaiah Hall.
Going up tempo is great, Tom. I don't have any problems with that. But if you're going to do it, and you're going to run a play like that, then you've got to be able to make that throw where he catches it and can do something up the field. He's uncovered in the slot. You can get it to him, but you got to make a better throw.
Double reverse, and this is Hall with blockers to the 30, outside 40. And he'll be knocked down near the 45-yard line. Isaiah Hall on the double reverse run.
Great play call, but I want you to watch number 11, Tony Dawson. Look at the quarterback get this block. He's going to get a helmet sticker for that block. Look at that block downfield on the defensive back. Excellent job by Tony Dawson leading the way for Isaiah Hall.
On 1st and 10, give it to Kelly. Nice cutback. He'll be brought down for a short gain of a couple of yards at the 46-yard line.
If I'm Tony Dawson, I am going in demanding a helmet sticker for that key block on that long play. I'm demanding it. I need the helmet sticker, coach. I about knocked that guy to the CVS across the street.
Gain of only a yard for Kelly. 2nd down and 9. Down to 5:25 left here in the half. Kelly will try and go straight up the middle. Have better luck this time as he'll pick up nearly 5 yards before the interior will bring him down.
Good mix of play calls. I love the reverse. Interesting time. I said earlier 4th and 6 I might have gone for it with Dallas Seeley. Interesting call in the reverse for HBU in this drive, but it picked up great yards and it set up a manageable 3rd and makeable 3rd and 4 here at midfield for HBU.
2 receivers near side. Toss, bad toss. Kelly has to go to the ground. And suddenly Tony Dawson has lost his momentum and lost his rhythm here. The bad passes on the quick little stand-up and throws, and now a bad pitch here.
They've run that speed option. This is probably the 3rd time, and Dylan Douglas again gets there, and it just came out of Tony Dawson's hand a little bit before he could flip it out there. They had a play. That's a good play call. Ball just slipped out of Dawson's hands. He got a little pressure there by Dylan Douglas, yet again running that at Douglas.
Fink on the far side, Miller on the near side, and Miller fumbled it at the 19-yard line, picked it up, and will go down to the 24-yard line. He almost got away. And once again, it's Ari Nelson Hinton with a big special teams tackle.
He's going to dribble this right there and go right back into his hands and almost, look at this, he almost gets out of there, and it's Miller versus the punter. Now, I'm not a gambling man, but I would go chips all in on the ACU punt returner in that situation. He just about got out of there. And what was almost a tragic play for ACU almost turned into an incredible play for
Could have
ACU.
been a turnover, and then it could have been a touchdown. So 1st and 10 for the Wildcats with a 1-point lead. They started their own 24. Dallas Seeley with the snap. And the running play for James bounces outside right. We'll get a couple to about the 23-yard line. Under 4 minutes to play now here in the first half.
You see Taylor Holmes in there for Doran Turner. He'll be the guy on the spot. 6'2", 220 junior out of Cypress, Texas.
Seeley. Forward shovel pass to Fink for the first down, and Moore ran into his own man, ran into Miller and put him down at the 38-yard line. But how about that for a pass? Just a two-handed toss forward.
That's the pitch Tony Dawson should have just used to B.J. Kelly. Dallas Seeley is fun to watch. However he's going to get it to a receiver is however he's going to get it to a receiver. Great play there by number 1.
New set of downs at their own 38-yard line for the Wildcats. Sweep coming left and well read by the HBU defense, and that's Kyle Bowling up to make the stop for just a 1-yard gain.
Excellent run support there. I'm still waiting for Seeley, Tom, to pull that out of there. They've run zone a number of times, but Seeley has not pulled it out of there one time. I'm just waiting for him to pull it that one time. HBU's crashing. He'll have a lot of room to run, but he hasn't pulled it out one time on that zone read.
3-man front this time, right up the middle for Duncan, and again the HBU defense collapses in at the point of attack. And the man at the middle, at the bottom of the pile, is big number 10. And that is Andrew, make that Greg Vincent rather, that number 10. They have 2 number 10s. Greg Vincent, the defensive tackle, making the stop for a 1-yard gain.
3rd and 8, linebackers, DBs, you see a little muddle huddle, you see everybody moving up front. See if they can get pressure, but smart pressure, and contain Seeley in the pocket.
They do, trying to get away. Dolan had him, the ball came out, and Seeley recovered it. Back at the 31-yard line, Dolan with the sack and almost the fumble.
Garrett Dolan comes late on the blitz. You'll see the upfield pressure, and then Dolan comes in late, and he is able to wrap up Seeley right before he's about to break out of there. That's what we've seen Seeley do tonight. Get upfield pressure, tuck underneath it, get back out. Before he could do that, though, Garrett Dolan on the spot to make that play. At time we got 1:56 here. We'll see what HBU can do with a 2-minute drive right before the half.
Now this is Austin Kilcullen, the normal punter, if you will, for the first time. A wobbler coming up and making the reception at the 27-yard line and being thrown back inside the 25 is Brandon Taylor. Special teams tackle made by number 46, Quincy Dunn. Let's go on the sideline to Jeff Power.
You know, Garrett Dolan averaging 12.5 tackles per game, gets one right here, had 18 in the first game against Central Arkansas. He has started every game for HBU. He's definitely the bell cow for this defense, and they've looked good so far, and not only this game, but last week against TSU as well. So HBU's defense stepping up, guys.
And that's good to see after they were mauled in the first game by Central Arkansas. Offensively, gave up a lot of yards and a lot of points. But this defensive unit has responded in these last 2 weeks.
All right, Tom, 1:42, 1 timeout left. Ball to 25. This is what, as a quarterback, you want to have the ball in your hands in this situation.
See if Dawson can find his rhythm, sets up the center screen. And Peters is on the run, on the sideline across the 40, across midfield. And he'll be wrestled down from behind at the 42-yard line.
Tom, I can't say enough about the offensive play calling right now. What a great start to this drive. Just a little slip screen. Peters slips out to the flat. He's got blockers in front. Excellent block right there by number 75, Kyle Tomase. And now they're back at it. Peters with the ball to the right side.
Sweeping near side, get out of bounds. He does at the 37-yard line. He'll be dragged out of bounds there by Sam Denmark, number 34. Pick up a 4 yards on the play.
And what that does, Tom, you get the ball in ACU territory. Now really your entire playbook is still there in front of you. With 1:22 left, you don't have to be in a rush. Get your best play. You don't have to hurry up and snap the next one after this. You've got to move at a good rapid pace, but you don't have to be frenetic. And that's what that screen pass allows you to do in this situation.
And especially with the out-of-bounds play the last time, you could take your time getting this play in. Dawson under pressure will just heave it out of bounds here on the near sideline.
And that looked like it was going to be the same play. You got linemen all over the place.
We got penalty marker down here, and the nearest guy to that ball was number 66, Cortez Uwagwu, and he's way downfield.
Yeah, he was not the intended receiver.
He was past the first down marker.
Even as much as offensive linemen want to be, he was not.
No.
I mean, you ask every offensive lineman, they always tell you, I can catch it. I can make that catch. But that was not, and that's what this is going to be. It was a screen blown up by ACU's defense. Nice job there by Abilene Christian to recognize.
There's no foul on the play.
Oh,
third down.
Well, that's interesting. Okay.
Well, that brings up third down. And a big play here.
3rd and 6.
at the 37. This is, I don't want to say well without a field goal range, but pick up the first down, you get an opportunity to do something. But is this 4-down territory at this spot at the 37, Tom?
It might be. You're out of field goal range here, so I'm thinking yes, it is.
And a punt doesn't do you much good at this point, so maybe it is.
They send Peters in motion to the far side, and whistles are down. False start, I think, is going to be the call against HBU, unless we got a timeout in before the penalty marker came out. A false start is indeed the indication by Dan Lewis. His mic works sometimes, his mic works sometimes not. So the ball goes back to the 42-yard line.
Please reset the game clock to 1:16. 1:16.
Well, at least we got that.
Yeah, it works like you said. One time it doesn't.
Thank you.
Kind of like our stat monitor, which is doing an automatic Windows update now.
Yeah, why not?
So I was going to tell you what they were on third down, but I can't. So it's 3rd and 11. Late rush coming. Dawson in trouble. Gets away. Stays on his feet. He's got daylight near side. To the 30. To the 20. To the 10. And out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. Tony Dawson with some escapability, saying, Dallas Seeley, take that.
Look at that play by Tony Dawson. Look at the composure in the pocket. Stayed in there as long as he could. Then he started to get some pressure and then got out of there. And just like Terrence Peters' run last week against ACU, look at the blocking down the field. He had a blue wall back over there and just took off. Tony Dawson was flying. It looked like he was almost going to get in the end zone there and stepped right on the referee's hat as he got inside the 5-yard line with 1:01 left and a timeout. What a run by Tony Dawson. Great pressure by ACU. And we got a player down on the HBU sideline. It's hard to see. It looks like it's Bryson Gates, number 12.
He's the guy who knocked Dawson out of bounds. He saved that from being a touchdown.
Gates was flying from the other side of the field to end up getting there to knock Dawson out. I thought the last moment he was going to get there. When he turns up, I thought, oh, got out of bounds, got out of bounds.
Yeah,
he just kept running.
I did too.
He had blocks. He saw Terrence Peters get one
Throw
there.
a block there.
And he thought, I got a touchdown now.
And there's Gates knocking him out of bounds.
That was a heck of a play by Bryson Gates. And this won't matter a whole lot maybe now, Tom, but if HBU has to settle for a field goal,
that'll be a huge
That's
play.
a 4-down, that's a 4-point save by Bryson Gates. We'll see what happens here. HBU's got the ball on the right hash at the 4-yard line. Plenty of time. Don't need to be in a rush. You got everything open to you. I sort of feel like a head coach talking to my offensive coordinator. You're all right. You got everything there. Know the situation. And this is the key thing for players. Look, know the situation. You got 1:01 left. You got 1 timeout. Be smart. You don't have to rush. This is where every player has to get on the same page.
Abilene Christian. It'll be a full timeout for first of the half.
So Abilene Christian will take the timeout here with 1:01 to go. And Ken Cullums will try and dial his defense back in along with coordinator Darian Dullen to try and get their team back together again after being just hit with a haymaker right there. 3rd down and 11, and Dawson scrambles for 38 and a 1st and goal at the 4. HBU after this week, they have Sam Houston State at home here at Husky Stadium next Saturday. Then travel to Western Kentucky, a bye week. And then full-blown Southland Conference action. Home for Nicholls State, then a big 3-game road trip at Southeast Louisiana, at Lamar, and at UTEP. Stephen F. Austin here at home, and finishing at Incarnate Word on November the 17th. And for Abilene Christian, they've got a showdown with Stephen F. Austin next week. Then home for Central Arkansas and Lamar, at Sam Houston State, home for Incarnate Word, at McNeese State, then home for Northwestern State, and finishing at Southeastern Louisiana.
Tom, we talked to Abilene Christian, a few members of the athletic department before the game. They've got a beautiful football facility coming next year. I can't even tell you how beautiful this place is going to be. They're going to have a home for Abilene Christian football that is going to rival anything you see anywhere in college football starting in 2017.
So here we go. 1:01 to play in the half. HBU down by 1 with a 1st and goal from the 4. Play clock at 12 as Dawson gets a new play from the sideline. Peters with the handoff. No, Dawson with a keep to the left side to the goal line. Touchdown, Tony Dawson. Great play fake. Put it right in the gut of Peters and pulled it at the last minute. Took it the opposite way and got across the goal line for an HBU lead at 13-8.
That is how you run zone read. Tony Dawson, that was his drive. Tom, we did not go to Central Arkansas to see that football game, but we talked to Coach Shealy after it, and he was disappointed in the way the team played, and he was disappointed in the way that Tony Dawson played. But the way this man has played last week against TSU and in his first half tonight against Abilene Christian, HBU has themselves a quarterback. And not just a guy that can manage the game, but a guy that can make plays at the big times, as he's done on this drive. 2 huge ones to put them up 13-8.
Alec Chadwick to try and tack on the point after, and he's got it up and through. And with 56 seconds to play in the half. See the great play fake to Peters, even took our cameraman out. And Dawson going around the far side and bounced off a tackler into the end zone for the score, and it's 14-8. And that drive went 75 yards. Dawson's numbers on the ball game, 6 of 13 for 134 with a touchdown. But it's his running play. He's got 42 yards in his last 2 attempts that got him in the end zone for the go-ahead score.
And he made that play, the long run, on his own. I was watching the receivers downfield, and I looked back because it looked like there was a wide receiver open, and it looked like they were going to sack him. He got himself out of there. Again, you can be a good game manager. If you combine that with playmaking ability, then you've got a big-time quarterback, and that's what Tony Dawson's done in his first half tonight. He's been big-time. He's made 3 or 4 throws that should have gone for big plays, that his wide receivers and running backs have let him down. He just said, I'm going to take care of business myself on this drive. But it started off with that little slip screen out to Terrence Peters, and that got them in a position where everything was open to the offensive staff. And then also Tony Dawson making plays. That zone read was beautiful. Corey Smith, the defensive end, crashed. He saw the numbers. Dawson pulled and got it in the end zone.
5 plays, 75 yards, took 46 seconds for the go-ahead score. Now Alec Chadwick will kick it away. Line drive kick, sending Fuller 4 yards deep in the end zone. He's going to bring it out to the 15, 20, 25, 30, and he'll finally go down there. But a dangerous return man is that was Justin Miller, 18, not 16. They got quite a 1-2 punch there when they could send him back to receive kicks, and we might want to check at halftime because I haven't seen Fuller on the field here for a little bit. See if he got shaken up somewhere along the way.
Tom, do you hold your breath every time he touches the ball? I mean, just out of instinct.
Oh, yeah.
He is. Well, Fuller is in the game. He is down here to the bottom of the screen, so Fuller is in.
All right, they're both in now.
And they're both on the same side, which can create a problem for the secondary. So keep an eye on the bottom of the screen here. Less than a minute left for Dallas Sealy and 2 timeouts.
Sealy in the pocket, throws, drops it over the middle. This is Fuller. He'll lower his head and get forward for about 6 yards. Taken off his feet by Taylor Holmes.
If you're HBU defense, that's all it takes. Keep them in front, make the good solid tackle, make them run clock or use those timeouts.
Sealy to pass again, 4-man rush, scrambles to his right, throws that way, has a man, it's Grant. He'll be pulled down between the 47 and the 48-yard lines by number 21, and making the tackle there, that is Chris Hardiman. Gain of 11 for a first down. Clock moving, 22 seconds to go as they snap it. Sealy again under pressure, gets away, and now we'll keep it and run across midfield, inside the 40, sliding down at about the 33-yard line before Bowling can come up and make the stop, and that will call timeout with 11 seconds to play, but watch the escapability here.
Andre Walker has got him right there, and Sealy gets out of it.
Abilene Christian.
And then says, Tony Dawson,
30-second timeout.
I'll see you and raise you one. Great play there by Dallas Sealy. That's what we know that he can do. But Andre Walker, the freshman defensive end, has made a couple of big plays in the last couple of games. But that one right there, unable to wrap up Dallas Sealy. Sealy took off. Now, Abilene Christian's got 11 seconds and 1 timeout. Got the ball at HBU's 34-yard line. You're probably in, I don't want to say you're not in field goal range now, but 11 seconds left. You can't throw the ball over the middle of the field because of the 1 timeout. You've got to make sure if you're Abilene Christian that you do put points on the board leading into the half. HBU gets the ball to start the half, so you got to come up with at least a 3 to finish this drive. And thus far, Dallas Sealy has done it pretty much on his own.
As a team, Abilene Christian just 1 of 2 in field goals in the first 2 games. Whistles think we're going to get a false start here against the Wildcats. Could be a costly 5-yard walk-off here with only 11 seconds to go.
Offense, number 55, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Left guard Brandon Nickum. So the ball goes backwards to the 39-yard line, 1st and 15. Still 11 seconds left and 1 timeout for Abilene Christian. And trailing by 6.
This is the tough part, Tom, for HBU. They've got to be able to get some pressure on Sealy, but they cannot allow a seam up inside. And this is that look where they show all their linebackers and all their safeties up front. And here they come.
Sealy with time, running out of time. Dolan pursues, throws on the run. It's James out of the backfield. He'll run out of bounds near the first down marker at the 25-yard line. But Sealy is a little shaken up. And we're down to 1 second.
Out of bounds with 1 second left. If he turns it upfield for 5 more yards, the half is over. Look at Sealy get pressure. He looks left, and then he starts to get out there, and Garrett Dolan is right there, landing on an ankle. Just in the nick of time, the running back, Tracy James.
Had he gone for the first down, they would have used the extra second. Instead, field goal try here by Nick Gow from 42 yards is good as we end the first half. 14-11 is our score as Gow converts a 42-yarder at the buzzer.
HBU's defense was outstanding this half, but just that last play by Dallas Sealy shows you everything. Garrett Dolan is on his ankle.
All right, let's go down on the field and get head coach Vic Shealy with Jeff Power.
Yeah, Vic joining us now. This team scored 49 points on you last year, but tonight your defense really stepping up. Only 11 points here in the first half.
Yeah, I think they played hard, and I think we've moved really well when the quarterback's in space. He's a really good athlete. I think you look at a lot of the yardage, it's been things created by the quarterback. So we got to do a little better job on him. Just keep on playing hard.
Tell me about Tony Dawson. What a threat having a dual threat quarterback who can also run it like he's shown.
Yeah, he shows you can create offense, extend the play, and we need to be a little bit better. He needs to hit some targets a little bit better. But good first half. Got to come out and play really well second half.
Okay, good luck in the second half. Back upstairs.
All right, Jeff. Thanks very much. Very entertaining first half. Huskies with a 3-point lead at 14-11, looking for their first win ever against Abilene Christian. We'll come back with halftime activities from Husky Stadium after this timeout.
So we'll regroup here. PhD program, Texas Medical Center, HB part of that. If you want to mention something about the nursing and science program or visibility for that. I'll let you kind of take the gala. I may just set you up with the gala. And then, yes. Do you have the correct spelling? B-A-C-A-R-I-S-S-E. Okay, Vice President of Major Gifts. Do you have any gifts for me?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. Hold on. Here.
Here we go.
Good.
And welcome back to Husky Stadium. It's 14-11, HBU winning right now over Abilene Christian. I'm Jeff Power here on the sideline, joined now by the Vice President of Major Gifts, Charles Baccaris. Charles, first of all, exciting times here at HBU, big things on the way. Let's talk about some of the things going on for a first time here at HBU.
Absolutely, yes. We are very excited about the launch of our PhD program, the first at the university in the College of Education. And that really is a game changer for us, moving from a master's institution to now our first PhD program. Very exciting.
And that kind of benefits what, science and nursing and different schools here?
Well, absolutely. The first PhD then allows you to do 2 or 3 more in the near future. And so it's really a huge pivot for the university in our history. And we're looking forward to it.
I know you've got a big gala coming up here, one of the biggest for HBU all season.
We do, absolutely. Every 2 years we do a gala. This is the Spirit of Excellence Gala, November 1st. At the Royal Sonesta Hotel right on the 610 Loop in the Galleria. Peggy Noonan is our speaker, Wall Street Journal columnist. And we're going to have some big news to announce at that gala. And almost sold out right now. We've only got a few more tables left to sell. Individual tickets go on sale Tuesday on the website. People can go there and buy them. It's going to be a very important night for the university.
The McNair family has been good to HBU through the years. Tell me about some of the things that they've got planned here in the near future, just right off campus.
Absolutely. Bob and Janice McNair have been so helpful and supportive of this university. Back in August, they signed an agreement with HBU to launch the McNair Center for Free Enterprise and Entrepreneurship. And it's really an amazing opportunity for our students, no matter what their major, to come through this center and learn entrepreneurial principles, basic business principles, to give them the opportunity to be successful as they pursue their passion.
Charles, final thoughts here, just big things coming for this university.
A lot of big things happening here at HBU. We're so excited about what the future holds for us.
Okay, Charles Baccaris, Vice President of Gifts. Good luck the rest of the way. Let's take a look at the HBU band here, and we'll bring you another guest here in just a second.
Thank you.
Abilene Christian University Athletic Director Lee DeLeon joining us now. And first of all, I saw you not too long ago, a couple years ago, when Central Arkansas battled ACU, and that was a good win for the program on the road over at in Plano. But big things have happened. You've got a on-campus facility in the very near future, and understand that you helped raise about $17 million in that direction.
Yeah, $17 million last year alone. So we've raised $38 million total, which is great. Our goal is 50, so we're getting close, and that could be finalized within the next week or so. But it's been really exciting, and there's lots of momentum right now around ACU athletics. This is our fourth and final year of the transition from D2 to D1. We started our Nike contract this year, July 1, the only Southland school with a Nike deal. And so in addition to the stadium, there's lots of other exciting things going on. It's a great time to be a Wildcat.
Hey, and did you know the opener next season is HBU playing at ACU? That's going to be a great time. I think it's on the 17th of September. Tell me about the excitement about having that on-campus facility and maybe what fans can expect.
Well, we haven't been on campus for football in over 58 years, I think it's been. And so fans should expect a great first-class facility that's going to provide a home field advantage for the Wildcats. It's going to feel like home. It's going to be intimate. It's going to be very relational, very community-based, community-driven. So it's going to fit right in with who we are as a university, and I think our fans are going to be really comfortable. Hopefully it's something that the whole community of Abilene can take a lot of pride in. We want it to be a rallying place for the entire city and the entire big country. So we're really excited about that.
And I think every time that y'all played HBU, it's always been in Houston, it seems like. But you've got some ties to Houston. You used to work at the University of Houston.
I did. I was director of marketing at U of H for 3 years, and then I grew up here. Born and raised in Houston, went to Strake Jesuit, passed that by on the way here to the stadium tonight. So this is my hometown. My parents still live here. It's always great to be back in Houston.
Lee DeLeon, athletic director here at ACU. But right now the Wildcats are trailing HBU at halftime, 14-11. We'll be right back with much more.
I believe my inner child belongs on the outside.
I believe you should never be afraid to speak your mind.
I believe knowledge is free and can be shared with anyone.
I believe if you spend too much time looking back, you'll miss what's ahead, like a wall.
I believe with faith, the future isn't so intimidating.
At HBU, belief isn't just a mindset, it's an action.
And our mission is to empower our students so their beliefs can fuel their lives. HBU, a higher education.
I don't hear anything, no. There's no picture either.
I worked in the oil field and was back.
Box is on me, yes.
If you can feel the knob, try to turn it up.
Oh, here, rolling. And we bring it back here to Husky Stadium, 14-11. Houston Baptist on top of Abilene Christian, Don Franklin and John Harrison. John, I think we're very well entertained with this first 30 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there have been great defensive plays on both sides. We've seen defensive end catch a two-point conversion for 2 points. We've seen a little bit of everything. But, Tom, we've seen the quarterbacks, Dawson and Seeley, make plays, especially late in that first half, that got points up on the board for both teams.
Big 38-yard run by Dawson, which he followed up with a 4-yard run for the go-ahead score to make it 14-8. And then a big play by Seeley to escape pressure, find James on the outside, who stepped out of bounds just in time so they could get the field goal away to make it a 3-point game.
What do we say about football? It's a game of inches. It's a game of 1 second. Because if he continues up the field for just a little longer,
they don't get that
the
field
clock runs out, and they don't get that 3 up on the board. And that was imperative to answer HBU's score right there at the end of the half to get 3, because HBU get the ball to start the second half.
Now, HBU, as you mentioned, is going to get the ball to start the second half, and this could be a very, very important drive that could determine momentum for the second half of this ball game.
Yeah, absolutely, and they've found momentum offensively, Tom, in different ways. I love the way they started that late drive with the slip screen, but they've gotten Terrence Peters involved. If Tony Dawson's wide receivers and running backs will catch the football, he's only 6 of 13 right now, but he's had 3 or 4 of them drop that could have been big plays. So that is imperative for HBU's wide receivers and pass catchers. Catch the football and let them make plays.
Well, as you look at some of the stats from the first half of this ball game, 252 yards for Abilene Christian, 254 for Houston Baptist. It's split right down the middle. We expected a very even type ball game, and both teams have responded.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, the defenses for both teams have made plays at key times. And I think that's going to be key in the second half. There's going to be a turnover that flips this game at some point. We've almost seen Miller break a few on special teams. Special teams or a turnover is going to flip this game, Tom, because it has been, as you mentioned, 252 to 254 yardage-wise. This is an Abilene Christian team that scored 52 points last week and 21 at Air Force. And that HBU defense has really kept them in check.
They've kept them in check. Special teams could play a factor as far as the return game is concerned. HBU's got to cover a little better. They gave up a big, long touchdown on a punt last week and almost did it again this week in the first half.
Yeah, Miller, number 18, has got some jets. I always wanted to run as fast as he can. I always wanted to be that 4-4 kind of guy, but I'm not, so I'm always enthralled by guys with speed. And we're taking a look at the highlights as you see Tony Dawson.
There's the Dawson
get that touchdown in. And then here's Dallas Seeley right at the end of the half, making a play here with his legs. Should have been sacked, but made a great play. And look at him run to get that and slide down. They took the timeout, next throw out of bounds, and then they nailed that field goal. And he probably makes that field goal from about 80. That was a bomb.
14-11 is our halftime score. We've got more halftime activities coming your way from Husky Stadium, where HBU is on top by 3 right after we take this timeout. Got to tell one of these guys who can hear something because I hear nothing.
And number 23, Florida in Gainesville is leading North Texas 19-0.
inside, outside? What are we doing?
We're going to come back. We're going to do halftime stats.
We haven't done the stats, okay? We're going to do them outside?
Come back.
Other area
halftime
scores,
stats,
Mississippi Valley State
Okay.
is falling to Texas Southern here in town. 21
I'm just going to get rid of that since I can't hear anything.
And late in the fourth quarter,
Go on the headset. Okay.
Alabama on the road, 34-20.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
It's big play scoring.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Scoreboard reads 14-11. HBU on top of Abilene Christian at the half. And one of the things we wanted you to get involved with in the first half is following the Big Play Tracker at bigplaytracker.com. And Michael Knapp is in charge of that. Michael, tell us about what we've seen here in the first half according to the Big Play Tracker.
Well, Tom, it's interesting. The Huskies lead 14-11. As we track the game based on what we identify as big plays, it's 13-11. What really jumps out at me is the Huskies' offensive frequency, making a big play every 5.5 snaps of the ball. ACU, after their fireworks of last week, look at them. They fell to 9.4. Neither team really lighting it up on the defensive side of the ball, and special teams really a non-factor as well. It's HBU who's answered the bell here tonight with the frequency of making big plays on offense. That's really why they have the lead tonight.
So you see the big play score 13-11, and we got a 14-11 game. Big play tracker can get pretty close. And then, like I said, if you are into the game within the game, and I know a lot of people play fantasy football and they want to see a particular player do well. What I love about Big Play Tracker is the fact that this is a team measurement. And as a former coach,
right?
There's no I in team, but there is a Big Play Tracker, so just to keep that aware. But I love this because it measures what the team is doing, not what individuals are doing.
And it's a very interesting look at how things get done. Michael, if you will, for the people unfamiliar with Big Play Tracker, explain a little bit about what you're doing and what constitutes some of the big plays that create points or take away points in certain instances.
Well, we're excited for the first time being able to tell you exactly the amount of contribution the different team elements are making. Not just the amount of points that you see at the end of the night on the scoreboard, but to what extent was the defense responsible for being able to contribute to that victory and that kind of production on the scoreboard. As you saw on the board earlier, the defense is what's stepping up to some degree for HBU with a couple of big plays, including that fourth turnover on downs. We know that's a big part of momentum, and certainly taking momentum away from your opponent. That's what Big Play Tracker looks to determine for the viewer and really offer up as far as a fresh slice and view of the game.
And if people want to follow along in the second half, what do they do?
Go to bigplaytracker.com and look at everything we call the big plays. Everything from first downs to first downs, chunk yardage, two-point conversions like we saw earlier, fumble recoveries on defense, great field position from special teams like
first
punt
down
returns,
to first down.
First down to first downs, touchdowns, of course, but we even give more points to the touchdowns at 50 yards or more. All the things that as a sports fan you recognize in your heart as a big play, we found a way to tell you what it's worth.
Now, for those of you who would like the more traditional statistical look, we'll take a look at the first half stats here, and you see how even this ball game is. 11 first downs for ACU to 10 for HBU. Total offense in the ball game. Got a little misprint there because the sheets that we received said 252 and 254 in this, but time of possession is interesting. 11:21 for Abilene Christian and 11:30, or check that, 18:21 and 11:39 are the time differences. So Abilene Christian's done a good job of controlling the clock, but not converting points on that, John.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at ACU, 46 plays they've run in the first half. They're on pace for 92 plays in a game. And I've talked to a few college coaches over the years, Tom. That's the one thing they always say. We just want more plays. We want 90 plays in a game. Bill O'Brien even tells me with the Texans, his goal is to get to 80 every single week. Well, ACU's on track for 92, but also shows offensively what HBU has been able to do with some of those big plays to give them a 14-11 lead.
3-point lead for the Huskies. We'll get you ready for the second half here at Husky Stadium in Houston right after we take this timeout.
The oil field and was badly injured on the job. I couldn't relax. All I could think about was the pain. I felt like it was destroying my marriage, my relationship with my son. I came to US Pain and Spine, and they put a spinal cord simulator in that blocks the nerve signals so you don't feel any pain. I was back on my feet the next day. They gave me back my life. I can't thank the doctors and the staff enough. They truly saved my life.
US Pain and Spine Institute. We make life better.
Okay. Today's game is being brought to you by Abraham, Watkins, Nichols, Sorrells, Augusto, and friends. And our buddy Randy Sorrells, a 1984 graduate and former HBU student athlete, recipient of HBU's Outstanding Alumnus of the Year Award. Also by Roadrunner Moving and Storage, 713-417-9593. 713-417-9593 for Roadrunner Moving and Storage. Wells Fargo, together we go far. And by Big Play Tracker, unlocking the power of big plays. You can follow along the big plays in this ball game by going to bigplaytracker.com. Teams back on the field as we get set for the second half. Houston Baptist will get the second half kickoff as they deferred the option at the start of the ball game to the sideline. Jeff Power.
Yeah, I was just talking about they've given up way too many big plays. The mistakes have definitely hurt them. Not playing consistent. They need to run the ball better as well. And also, not only just get the pressure on Tony Dawson, but find a way to wrap him up. Those are the keys for ACU here in the second half. Back upstairs.
All right, Jeff, thanks very much. Quarterbacks have been a big part of this ball game. The quarterback numbers in the first half for Dallas Seeley, 15 of 19, 179 yards, 1 touchdown. He was sacked once. He also ran the ball 4 times for 14 yards. For Tony Dawson, 6 of 13, 134 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks, but also 5 big runs for 63 yards and a touchdown.
Tom, as we mentioned at halftime, he's 6 of 13. You think, well, that's under 50%, but he's had 3 or 4 of them dropped. And there's a couple of them that he overshot that he wishes he could have had back. But Tony Dawson, even though at 6 of 13, under 50%, he has been key in this first half, no questions asked.
And kicking it away for Abilene Christian and going out of bounds on the far sideline, about the 3-yard line. Almost going to pick it up was Ricardo Barnett, and he said, you know what? I think it's going to go out of bounds, so I'm going to let it go.
What a legal kick out of bounds. Kicking team number 48.
I hate to say it, but that actually was a great play by Ricardo Barnett.
Yes.
Did you see the first game of the year, Tom, with Northwestern and Western Michigan? There was a fumble, and a Western Michigan player took the ball and tossed it back in bounds. It was going to go out of bounds through the end zone and give the ball to Western Michigan. And for some reason, he threw it back into the field of play, and Northwestern fell on it for a touchdown. And I bring that up because it would have been a very simple play for Barnett to just pick up the ball or try and catch it. Instead, he realized, I let this thing go out of bounds. Look where the ball is for HBU. They got the ball at the 35-yard line. This is a great drive start for the start of this second half.
Let's see what Tony Dawson and company can do. Peters up the middle. And he runs into a big bear, and that's number 9, Josh Bloom. Senior out of Kingwood, Texas, 6'2", 315 pounds, 5 tackles a week ago.
He is all of 315 too. I love the big guys that wear the single digit. He's got a single digit.
Yeah.
And some of these numbers are kind of hard to see from our vantage point.
Can't miss his.
That number 9, that thing is in 3D. Nice play there. Great job. I'm sure that defensive line got some talking to in the halftime locker room.
Adson comes out, and now Dawson keeps on the option. He's got Peters with him, will throw a block, but well strung out in defense by Abilene Christian. Finally, Richard Griffin is the guy who takes Dawson out of bounds at the 39. It'll be 3rd down and 6 coming up.
And Jeff Power talked to Ken Collins. That was the one thing he said. We've got to wrap up Tony Dawson. Now that time it didn't hurt him, but he did shake free of 1 tackle and pick up a couple yards to set up a 3rd and 6. But that's exactly what Ken Collins is talking about. He's shifty, he can run, you've got to wrap him up. That means you've got to have 8, 9, 10 guys at the football each and every play.
3 of 7 on 3rd down in the first half for the Huskies. Dawson swings it out. Peters, did his knee go to the ground? It did, they say, back at the 34-yard line. Peters, or Dawson under duress. That ball was a little bit low and outside. Peters brought it in, but his knee touched the ground, killing the play at the 34 for a loss of 5.
Josh Bloom, that man again, getting the pressure. He of Kingwood, Texas, making the play and forcing a bad throw out to Peters. Great 3 and out there by Abilene Christian. That defensive unit needed to have that drive right there.
Christian Guzman, a high wobbly kick. Camping under it at the 21-yard line is Fuller across the 25 and diving out to the 28. Maybe the 29-yard line, DJ Fuller. Special teams tackle made by Mev Adjton.
So last time we saw Abilene Christian, Tom, they drove down, excellent 2-minute drive to get that field goal right at the end of the half. They get a 3 and out. If the offense responds now, HBU will clearly be back on their heels. This is a big drive for both sides, but to capitalize on momentum, it might be even bigger for Abilene Christian to do something big on this drive.
Dallas Seeley sends Ennis in motion. Bootleg action near side, and he'll just have to throw it away. Well strung out by the HBU defense. Terrence Mandeville on the run after Seeley. 2nd down and 10 coming up.
Seen that play. That's maybe the 3rd time we've seen that play, almost in the same exact location on the field. That time, did a great job covering Ennis, who was out in the flat, forcing Seeley to have to throw that one away on 1st down.
On 2nd and 10. A wide snap, but Seeley brings it in with one hand and throws down the sideline. Almost intercepted. Looking for Fuller at the 42-yard line. And Derek Broussard says, I should have had that one.
It's excellent play by Broussard. Watch him undercut this throw right at the last second.
Broussard
Boom, Fuller thought he had it beat, so he didn't go up and challenge it as it would for a 50-50 ball. That allowed Broussard to break under it. Should have been an interception. But as they say, that's why he plays defensive back and not wide receiver.
You said it before I did.
There you go.
3rd down and 10 for Abilene Christian in the first half. 4 of 9 on 3rd down. 13 minutes exactly to play in the 3rd. Seeley under a 5-man rush will get away with room to run. He'll have the 1st down and more. Down the sideline, tight roping it. It'll be out of bounds. Where? In HBU territory, they say, at the 47-yard line. Watch the tightrope act at the end of this run.
Derek Broussard was the late rusher coming off the edge on a corner cat blitz, and he left his feet. He's not a pass rusher. He's not accustomed to that, and because he did that, that created a huge seam for Seeley to get on down into HBU territory.
24-yard pickup on a 3rd and 10. Running play, this is Duncan off the left side, and he'll be run out of bounds by Broussard. And had a little help from Taylor Holmes at the 41-yard line, but not before he got 6. Updated stats on Dallas Seeley. 13 of 17 for 154 and a score.
But it's been his scrambles, Tom, that have been the key. His scrambles have given them pretty much new life on almost 50% of the drives tonight. He's given them new life with his scrambles.
On 2nd down, Seeley going to run it up the middle. Couldn't get away. The big man down at the bottom of the pile is big number 64, and that is Austin Holly, who made the stop shy of the first down by about a yard at the 38.
And that's really the first time that Seeley has gone up the middle. They did a nice job of containing on the outside, but he tried to break forward up through the middle, and he wasn't able to get away as he was tracked down by Holly and Dolan. Now leave them 3rd and 1. And we've seen 3rd and short, 4th and short with ACU. They've tried to quarterback sneak. And here they go again.
And this time the sneak will get the first down as Seeley will get forward across the 36, but not quite to the 35. But it will be a new set of downs with 11:44 to play, a 3-point lead for HBU here.
Feels like Abilene Christian is quick grinding the gears. They've kind of put it in the left lane, going about 85 right now. They've got this right where they want it.
Move the tight end in motion. Seeley rolls this way, throws, and has the big tight end on the near side. Running out of bounds at the 20-yard line is Trevor Crane. Just take him out of the backfield. A big dude, 6'1" and 235.
This is the play we saw in the first play of the drive. We've seen it tonight. And this is where Doran Turner not being in the game hurt them, Tom.
16-yard pickup on 1st and 10. Throw it to Crane again. This time a nice hit. Coming up and taking him down for a short gain is the strong safety Taylor Thompson, number 24.
We haven't seen the loss of Doran Turner hurt HBU's defense until that play right there. The play before, Taylor Holmes was supposed to play that tight end. He turned his back to Seeley, and that made a real easy throw and a catch for a first down.
2nd down and 9 now from the 19-yard line. Seeley going to throw it down the middle, and it is caught in the end zone for a touchdown. Sliding grab by Josh Fink. But whistles on the play as one of the officials comes in from the side.
I don't see a flag, Tom. Do you? I see it. There's one on the 15-yard line.
Oh, so wipe this out. Ineligible player downfield wouldn't get the number as once again Dan Lewis's microphone checked out.
There he is. You see the tackle right there
way down
at the 10-yard line.
At the 15-yard line. Yeah, it's Dakota Laws, the left tackle.
What a great play. Abilene Christian ran that play against Northern Colorado, had the same result. Just fake that zone read, looks like run blocking. Safety comes up and they hit the wide receiver behind it. Unfortunately, Laws thought it was a run as well, so he was 10 yards downfield. That brings it back for ACU, takes points off the board.
4-man front. Mandeville is the stand-up end on the top side of the formation. Laws to throw underneath, and a diving catch at the 17-yard line is made by Crane, and all of a sudden they're looking at the big tight end here on this drive. That's 3 times that Seeley has hooked up with him.
He hooked up with Ennis a few times in the first half as well. He's gone to his tight ends. Taking advantage again. No Doran Turner. Throw to his void.
3rd down and about 7 from the 17-yard line. They'll need to get just about to the 10 to move the sticks. HBU showing blitz. Here they come. Seeley over the middle. Incomplete. Looking for Fink. And almost intercepted by Latavian G.
Oh, G. That would have been an awesome, awesome interception.
You didn't do that.
Oh, man. That throw was not a clean spiral. Maybe that threw off G. I don't know. But that ball, I think, surprised him. It's almost as if it got on him a lot faster than he expected it. And because of that, he wasn't able to hang on to it. And this field goal should tie it up.
Nick Grau from 34 yards, the left footer, sends it on its way, and you see it split the uprights. And we've got a brand new ball game with 10:01 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Houston Baptist 14, Abilene Christian 14. You're watching Southland Conference football.
Ingredients for better gas mileage. Wonder what they are.
Corrosion inhibitor.
Solvent fluid.
Demulsifier.
Fuel detergent number 1.
Fuel detergent number 2.
Anti-adhesion compound.
And marker molecules.
Wow. I did not know that.
With 7 key ingredients, new Synergy gasoline is engineered to help give you better gas mileage. Exxon and Mobil. Energy lives here.
.10:01 to play, third quarter. We got a brand new ball game, 14-14, Abilene Christian and Houston Baptist, thanks to a 34-yard field goal from Nick Grau for the Abilene Christian Wildcats. Let's take a look at the early standings in the Southland Conference. Just a couple of teams have played games. Central Arkansas with a win on opening night over HBU, and Incarnate Word was able to knock off Northwestern State. We've got some other conference games in action tonight as well, so we'll start to see those figures start to change as the games, as they say, really start to count, John.
Yeah, absolutely. You get to this point in September, week 3, week 4, you start getting into conference play. Everybody's in conference play, and that makes it that much more exciting, Tom. And we got a good one, Southland Conference tonight.
David Racine on the near side, Ricardo Bennett on the far side. High and short, Bennett runs up on it, takes it from the 17, looks for a hole at the 30, and he'll be wrestled down at the 31-yard line as Adrian Anderson makes the tackle for Abilene Christian. A pretty good field position for Tony Dawson and company to start their second possession here of the third quarter.
Nice job there by Ricardo Barnett, who at 6'5", 198, does not look like a kick returner. But a pretty good job coming up there and taking a short kick and getting what he could. And again, Tom, good field position. Last drive started at the 35. This one starts at the 32. Just can't go 3 and out. Got to respond to the consecutive field goals by ACU.
Abilene Christian pinches the line of scrimmage with 5. Dawson pulls it and throws. And was it caught? What a catch that was. Isaiah Hall. How about that one, snagging that one out of the air, reaching way behind him to bring it in.
That is an acrobatic catch and then some for 5 yards. Well, the ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage, and Hall had to adjust, and he did. May have felt he owed Tony Dawson that from some of them that were dropped in the first half. But a great catch off the deflection by Isaiah Hall. We don't usually see him do that. He's usually catching bubble screens and getting up the field. Nice job right there.
Here's Peters in motion from the outside. It's going to be a jet sweep. He's in trouble. Got away from one man. Flag is down. Peters still on his feet. Got to the line of scrimmage and thrown back. LaMarcus Allen had the early pressure. That really disrupted the play.
ACU's defense, Tom, has looked like a different unit here in the second half. They're flying to the football, defensive line.
Holding, offense, number 32, 15-yard penalty, please, second down.
You could see them fast flow. As soon as they saw Terrence Peters go in motion, they knew what was coming. They were fast flowing to the football. And then look at the white shirts on the tackle. That's the other thing. Ken Collins talked about that with Jeff Power at halftime, and you're seeing it right there with the number of white shirts that are at the football. Pursuit. Get guys to the football. If the first guy misses him, the next 2 or 3 are going to make sure that they stop him right there. Excellent job of the ACU defense to start off this second half, and now they put HBU in second and long after that great catch by Isaiah Hall.
Mev Edgerton guilty of the hold as he pulled down Brandon Richmond. We're ready to go with 9:10 to go, second down and 14 from back at the 28-yard line. Peters goes to the right shoulder. Fake it to him. Dawson in trouble. Got it away in time. Has Barnett. Penalty marker down at the 45-yard line. And I think we're going to get a pass interference call against Jamar Mack.
We talked about this at halftime, Tom. Off air, we talked about throwing the ball down
Pass
the field.
interference. Defense, number 17, 15-yard penalty, and automatic first down.
This is really the first time that Dawson has looked deep downfield, and they caught Jamar. Was that Jamar Mack right back there,
yes,
number
it
17,
was. Yep.
with the defensive pass interference? But you take the opportunity to throw the ball down the field. I don't know if I love it on 2nd and 15, but I love the aggressiveness to try and back up this ACU defense, and that time it paid off with defensive pass interference.
So a new set of downs, 1st and 10 from the 43. Peters coming near side, found a crease, lost the ball, but it goes out of bounds. He got to midfield, and he knows he almost made a costly mistake by losing that football down the sideline.
Up until that fumble, what an excellent run. Watch the patience of Terrence Peters to let his blocks develop. Let him set up. You can see his head go back and forth. He's just got to take care of that football. That cost him a couple of yards there, but an excellent patient run, and now you see B.J. Kelly in the game to get Peters a rest.
They're at the 49 in Abilene Christian territory, and Kelly's got the run and will be close to first down yardage between the 47 and the 46-yard line before Denmark and Richmond bring him down. They say move the sticks as they put it close to the 46 for the 1st and 10.
There you go, back-to-back first downs. First down to first down is who we call it on BigPlayTracker.com. And that gets your tempo going, and it puts Abilene Christian back on their heels a little bit. Nice job by the offensive set this drive.
Kelly again hitting the backfield and cannot spin away. Big early penetration, DeJuan Edmondson, the junior out of Manville High School and a transfer from UTEP with a big stop for a loss.
Penetration early. That'll disrupt zone read, and once you penetrate, run straight to the mesh, and that's exactly what Edmondson did, which forced Dawson to have to give the ball to Kelly. But a great play there on first down for the ACU defense.
On 2nd and long, throw it on the outside and right through the hands of the H-back tight end, Buddy Tuamasaga.
Bringing up 3rd down.
ACU brought a little bit of pressure. Good to see Bryson Gates, number 12, back in the game, but he and Edmondson got loose on the left side right in the throwing window of Tony Dawson. Dawson still able to get it out to the flat, but unable to hang on. Again, pass catchers letting down Tony Dawson. You see his numbers there, 8 of 16 on the night, was 6 of 13 going into half, but he's made the big plays. He's been attacking, and that's been good. His receivers have just got to help him out a little bit, Tom.
Play clock is down to 5. 3rd down and a dozen. Dawson flushed out of the pocket. And will run out of bounds back near the original line of scrimmage to the 46-yard line. It'll be 4th down and 10 and a punting situation for the Huskies.
Those 3 downs right there, all about ACU's defensive front. Got the pressure, shut down the run on 1st down, got pressure on 2nd down, forced Dawson out of the pocket on 3rd down. Excellent job by Josh Bloom and the guys up front for ACU on that drive. After consecutive first downs for HBU, they shut them down. Now it's key to pin ACU down inside the 10 and not let DJ Fuller come up with a big return.
Christian Guzman hangs this one very, very high. They run away from it. It hits at the 4 and will bounce into the end zone for a touchback. And ACU will take the ball at their own 20-yard line with 7:29 to play. We're locked up in a 14-14 deadlock here in the 3rd quarter at Husky Stadium.
ACU will have the ball. 1st and 10 at the 20.
Tom, do you get a feeling that ACU's had field goal right before half, field goal on that last drive? I talked about the number of plays ACU ran in the 1st half. They're now at 56. They've run a ton of plays. Do you get the feeling with Doran Turner out that HBU's defense is in a very vulnerable state right now, that if ACU gets a little bit of a drive going, that HBU's defense could be in probably the first trouble they've been in all night?
I do. I think they need a turnover here to put the momentum back on their side of the field. So from the 21st and 10 for Seeley and company, it'll be a run up the middle, and not much for Duncan as he'll get a couple of yards. Once again, Garrett Dolan leading the charge from the middle linebacker spot to limit that to a 2-yard pickup.
Kent Collins said this team needed to run the football a little bit better. Large part of that is HBU's front has been whipping the offensive front for ACU for the most part, especially on those inside runs.
Linebackers sneaking up here on the 2nd down and 8. Quick throw on the outside, diving attempt by Fuller. Did he bring it in? Yes, he did at the 28-yard line in front of Broussard. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
It's a whale of a catch there by Fuller. Right there on the sideline, laying out, get his hands underneath the pass, setting up a 3rd and short.
6 of 12 on 3rd down for the Wildcats here, facing 3rd down and 2. 5 men at the line of scrimmage for the Huskies, and one more sneaking up. Rolling near side, dropping it off to the tight end, Ennis. He'll have the 1st down across the 35 and out to the 37-yard line, or he'll be brought down there by Taryn Timmons.
One of my biggest pet peeves as an offensive coordinator, or for offensive coordinators, to not call play, it works. They've run that play about 5 or 6 times tonight, and that one came up big for a 1st down.
Running play for Duncan. To check it, James, 23, not 21. He'll get to the 43-yard line for a 6-yard gain. And you can feel the Tide starting to wear the purple here right in this game. Seeley gets away, maybe. Dolan got enough of him to knock him off his feet and keep him shy of the 1st down marker. A 2-yard gain to the 45.
It's really the first time that Seeley has pulled the ball in zone read. He actually was looking to throw it. Had he decided to run right away, I think he would have gotten to the edge and made a big play on the ground. Look at Garrett Dolan, 15 tackles tonight, 2 tackles for a loss. He's been all over the place. And that was a big tackle to set up a 3rd down, which could have been a 1st down for Abilene Christian.
2 receivers to the far side. Movement at the line of scrimmage. The left tackle and the tight end, both Dakota Laws and Cody Ennis, a little anxious. So 3rd and 2 just become 3rd and 7.
I can almost guarantee you with the running back on the same side as the tight end on 3rd and 2, they were going to run him on the zone and boot out and throw it to 15 out in the flat. That was 3rd and 2. Now 3rd and 7, you see the back opposite the tight end. That doesn't look like it's in play because they'll need a little bit more than that. But I guarantee you that's what they were calling 3rd and 2. Why not? It's worked almost every time tonight.
So what will Seeley and company do? The stand up front, 6 men at the line, only 4 come. Seeley gets away, lowers his shoulder, dives to the 46-yard line before Bowling can make the stop, and he's going to be about a yard shy of the 1st down.
Now this is back to your point, Tom, about momentum. What does ACU decide to do here? They are in their territory, and it looks like they are going to bring on the punt unit.
They failed on a 4th down try in the 1st half.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're about 4th and 2. So you bring on your regular punting unit, and you keep your punts safe out there looking for any kind of fake, anything tricky here. Just force them to punt the ball, stay in your punt safe look, and make sure nothing bad happens.
Kilcullen gets the snap. Hits this one very, very high but short. And will hit at the 34 and take a backward bounce, and will have to be covered up at the 40 or 41-yard line. That's going to be about a 15-yard punt when all is said and done, and HBU is going to have outstanding field position when we return. 4:04 to play in the 3rd quarter. We're locked up in a 14-14 battle in Houston. 4:04 left in the third quarter. Houston Baptist locked up in a 14-14 tie with Abilene Christian. The Huskies will start from their own 40-yard line. Not only is it 14-14 on the scoreboard here at Husky Stadium, it's also 14-14 on the big play tracker.
That was a pivotal moment right there, Tom.
Indeed.
That HBU defense had to get off the field and quell the momentum, and they were able to do that there.
And how big was the penalty, the false start on 3rd and 2?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great job there by HBU's defense. Now the offense needs to pick up a big drive and let that defense rest a bit.
Dawson pulls it, throws on the near side. Barnett makes the catch for about a 5-yard gain at the 45-yard line. Not often do you see a wide receiver hit by a big defensive lineman as Kutsuyama makes the tackle. 2nd and 5. Dawson pulls it, scrambles back to his right. Now throws, tipped and almost intercepted. Penalty marker is down. Well, this play went awry after Dawson reversed his field and tried to go to the far side. And we've got an injured player for Abilene Christian back here at the 48, make that the 43-yard line.
We had all kinds of things happening on that play, Tom. We got flags. We've got an injured player down for Abilene Christian.
Maybe a catch, maybe an interception on
a
deflection.
Tip ball. You got a couple of AC Wildcats diving for it. You had Lewis on the far side open, and that's who Dawson was looking for. And then one of ACU's defenders jumped up and got a hand in it. I didn't even see the defender, and I don't think Dawson did either. And that guy jumped up, sky tipped it, and they almost came down with the interception. We'll see what the flag is for here as they tend to the injured player down in the field who is now sitting up.
Which is a good sign. Looks like they're working on his left leg somewhere. But the jersey is kind of rolled right now, so I can't read it from the front. We can't pick up a number on it right now. But left knee seems to be the problem. Here's the call from Dan Lewis on the penalty marker. Public address announcer is reading some scores here, and Dan Lewis is waiting for him to stop so he can announce the penalty.
There was a penalty on the play. Eligible downfield offense, number 75. That penalty will be declined.
Kyle Tomasi, the center of the guilty party. And the injured player wears a 9. And that is
that
big number 99. And that is Trevon Moore, junior out of John Tyler High School in Texas.
Interesting call by Ken Collins here to decline this. It would have been 2nd and I believe about 15, but he declines it and leaves that 3rd and 5. Interesting strategy here.
Well, he's putting faith in his defense, thinking they can get the ball back again and get that HBU defense back out on the field. Dawson will roll right. Throws incomplete, looking for Hall coming across, but that was well covered by the Abilene Christian defense, so Ken Collins was right to decline that penalty the way it works out.
Little half-field roll, rub route. Lewis going deep. Isaiah Hall was going to work off that route, but ACU did a great job in the secondary of getting that rub route, kind of getting into that mesh and keeping it from developing, and that forced Dawson to have to hold that ball a little bit longer than he wanted to, and then Bryson Gates was right there to force the errant throw.
Fuller stands at his 15. Guzman knocks an end-over-end kick away. Taken at the 14 by Fuller on the sideline. He'll be bumped out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. Excellent special teams play. Pin the returner against the sideline, and your gunner is down there to knock him out of bounds before anything bad can happen.
Excellent punt there by Guzman. Great cover, but you got to love it as a cover guy. When you punt the ball between the hash and the sideline, he really only has one place to go. So you can fly down there, and you know he's not going to go all the way across the field. He's basically going to run right into you, and Nicholas Smith was right there to knock him out of bounds and give the Wildcats the ball there at about the 22-yard line.
But this Abilene Christian offense has been on the field a lot here in the third quarter. They're going to try and wear out Houston Baptist's defense. Dallas Seeley from the gun, fields a high snap, in trouble, going down at about the 19-yard line. And it's big number 10, Greg Vincent, the freshman out of Deer Park, with the sack.
Watch Vincent get up the field, a nice rip move underneath. But the one thing Sealy has not done tonight is step up into the pocket. He has escaped the pocket or gone up underneath outside rushers. That time, Vincent got pressure at his feet. Sealy didn't know what to do, and Vincent ends up with the sack.
7-yard loss, 2nd down and long. Markers down. Think we're going to get a false start here. And suddenly, Abilene Christian's offense is becoming a little bit disheveled.
Snap infraction. Offense, number 51, 5-yard penalty.
The center moving the ball, Austin Hisler. So now the ball's back at the 10, and it's going to be 2nd down and 22.
Tom, the one thing I didn't think we would see tonight was a 14-14 game as we head near the 4th quarter. I did not think we would see this, but these defenses in the 2nd half have been outstanding. And Greg Vincent with that sack was big right there on 1st down. You got ACU going backwards when he needs to pile up some momentum going the other way.
Sealy standing at his 4-yard line, gets a snap, he's in trouble. Escapes one man, still on the run, and coming from behind to throw him down is Teron Timmons.
Timmons missed it the first time. Great rush here on the inside move. Excellent job, missed it the first time. But this is what you tell your pass rushers. Stay after it, be relentless, because he'll come right back to you, especially a guy like Sealy, because he'll hold it a little bit longer looking for that big play. You keep rushing. Timmons did, and came up with the 2nd sack in a row on his drive.
And now it's 3rd down and 21. Soft rush, throw it on the outside, almost intercepted, not caught. A lot of men in the way as he was looking for Duncan to try and set up the screen, but HBU was all over that. In a punting situation, the Huskies should get great field position.
Chris Taylor was being blocked out here by DJ Fuller's little slip screen, and Taylor almost ended up with the football. Great play there by the corner, Taylor, to break that play up. He almost ended up with the interception as he was coming up to try and make a tackle. Great play there. Excellent drive by the HBU defense. Pushed ACU back, and now they should get great field position.
Huge 3-and-out. The punt on the way from Kilcullen is short. Fair catch called for and taken at the 45-yard line in Abilene Christian territory by Brandon Taylor with 1:42 to go here in the 3rd. And now is the momentum going to go back in the Huskies side? Well, only if they can move the football.
Yes, Tom, we talk about complementary football. Offense, defense, special teams. We'll think about how that sequence went. Great pump by Guzman, excellent cover. Then the defense came up with a 3-and-out and a couple of sacks on that drive. That gave the ball back to the offense inside ACU territory. So now the offense has to complement what the other 2 units have done and put some points on the board as we near, with 1:42, as we near the 4th quarter.
Peters, the deep back, under center this time. Dawson, maybe the first time tonight he's been under center. Fake the reverse, now throw near side, wide open is Ashton at the 20, at the 10, and wrestled down just shy of the goal line. Mev Ashton out of the backfield.
Throw the ball to the fullback, yes. My political campaign is at work. They faked the reverse, and Ashton got lost in all of that up the sideline. He'll be out inside the 5. What a great play call by the HBU offensive coaching staff. Excellent job. Fake the reverse. As he was wide open, it was almost like opening presents at Christmas. I got so excited up here, Tom, I almost interrupted your call.
Yes, you did. Running play for Peters. I don't think he got there. He'll be stopped. Yes, he did. He spun off the pile at the end. He got stopped, but he was on top of players and rolled over into the end zone.
Second effort there by Terrence Peters, rolling into the end zone.
Watch this.
He is stopped right there. And I thought, ACU, great job.
He's on the pile, he keeps moving and squirts underneath, and there's where he scored.
It looked like Denmark had him right there, but Peters just kept moving, just kept trying to squirm his way into the end zone, and he did. His 2nd touchdown of the night. Terrence Peters, Tom, we said he was going to be key at the outset of this game, and he has been that and then some to give HBU a lead, 20-14 lead.
Now trying to tack on an important extra point here. Alec Chadwick out of the hold. of David Duncan, and the kick is good. It's a 7-point lead for the Huskies with 1:08 to go here in the third. So, as you mentioned, the complimentary play took place. Good special teams, pin them deep. Good defense, force a 3 and out. And now here's another look at the touchdown. Hit hard, but still on bodies, and there he leans across the goal line for the score.
And it was a great job by the referees. A lot of times the officials will blow that whistle early thinking he's down, but they could just see that Peters was about to move, so they stayed off the whistle. And luckily for HBU, he did. It was only first down. Maybe they pop it in there, but as we talked about, Tommy, you just mentioned complimentary football. Special teams does their job. Defense does their job. Gives the ball back to the offense in great field position. And what a play call. Fake the reverse, tight end / H-back / fullback.
Sneaking out,
getting down the field, wide open. That is how you draw it up. When you talk about all three phases, that's the film you put on. You show the punt, you show the sacks, you show that play, and you show Peters' effort for the touchdown. And we got a 21-14 game with 1:08 left in the third quarter.
Just 2 plays to cover the 45 yards and took all of 34 seconds for the go-ahead score for HBU. Huskies looking to even up their Southland Conference mark at 1-1 and looking to beat Abilene Christian for the first time in 4 tries. And Chadwick to kick it away. A dangerous return man await for Abilene Christian, but Chadwick has done a nice job on his kickoff so far tonight. And hooked this one out of bounds. Just as I said something nice, the announcer's curse works again.
He's hit a couple of bombs going that direction. The wind earlier in the game was at his back, and if you look at the flags now, they're fairly limp. So
yeah.
He didn't have the wind at his back, but that is the opposite of complimentary football. Your 3 phases do a great job, and then you give ACU back the ball. You give them a little bit of life. Last drive they started at 22 and went backwards. Now they're starting at 35, right where they want to be.
See what Seeley and company can do. 20 of 28 for 218 yards and a touchdown tonight. However, he has been sacked twice.
And he really hasn't hit the deep ball yet.
No.
That's the one thing he hasn't done. The touchdown was not quite a deep ball, but he hasn't hit the deep ball yet. If I'm ACU, I look to go deep one time.
Swing it on the outside, set up the wide receiver screen, and all over it is the HBU defense. Taylor Holmes smelled that one out.
We talked about Taylor Holmes earlier. He's in for Doran Turner, who was injured in the second quarter. That's an excellent play for a guy that hasn't played a lot of football this year to get out there and stop that for a 1-yard gain.
Down to 40 seconds left here in the quarter. Turn, handoff, James ducks under one man, dives out close to the 40-yard line before he'll go down. Broussard was the guy at the bottom. And up near the top was Avery Wright. Give him 5 to the 41-yard line. It'll be a big 3rd down and 4 now for Abilene Christian. Quickly at the line of scrimmage with a slot to the near side along with the H-back this way. Rolling this way is Seeley, throwing this way has Grant. Still on his feet at midfield and dragging tacklers across into HBU territory at the 47-yard line. Holmes there to make the stop along with Nicholas Smith.
Good solid throw there from Seeley on 3rd down. So a little speed out. Grant hitched it up. Past the stick, ended up getting the 1st down. It looks like that'll be our last play of the 3rd quarter.
Time has expired.
That completes the 3rd quarter.
The only points, well, take that back. Each team with a score. A field goal for Abilene Christian to tie. HBU with a touchdown to go in front. 7-point lead for the Huskies with 15 minutes left tonight in Southland Conference football action.
No, I didn't make that purchase. Someone must have my card number. So I can pick up a new debit card right now? Thank you. All right, everyone, follow me.
Coach, the gym is that way.
Okay, everyone, do some squats.
Come on. This may take a while.
Here's your card.
Thank you.
Instant issue debit cards. Security, convenience, together.
Well, that was fast.
Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
Where next? The dentist?
15 minutes to play at Husky Stadium tonight. HBU with a 21-14 lead over Abilene Christian. And it's 1st and 10 for the Wildcats at the HBU 48-yard line. Movement at the line of scrimmage. Jumping into the neutral zone was Andre Walker. Now was he drawn off?
It's like Abilene Christian's moving backwards. There are a lot of fingers pointed after that, which usually happens. Ken Collins is talking to the official right now. He's pretty upset.
5-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, Ken Collins is probably saying it was the defensive man that made my man move.
He is all the way on the field, almost out to the hash mark is Ken Collins. He is
not happy with that call. So walk it back into Abilene Christian territory at the 47-yard line after the 5-yard walk-off 1st and 15. Seeley will pass.
There it is.
Deep down the field, far side. Broken up by Broussard. He was running stride for stride with Miller and had perfect position to break that play up.
Derek Broussard's played an excellent game, and you'll see the coverage here. He is right in the hip pocket, and look at him time this just perfectly to go up and knock this away. Did not and could have easily created a pass interference, but he did not. Excellent coverage there by Derek Broussard. As long as he's covered receivers tonight, he's been okay. It's when he's had to cover a defensive end on 2-point that he didn't struggle.
Running play on 2nd and 15, and Tracy James is cut down from the outside. Taylor Thompson with another tackle, and he's had himself a very big ball game today. Thompson now, that's his 11th tackle of the ball game.
Safety support. Pretty good job up front by Abilene Christian. And a nice job by the HBU front to sort of bounce it, but it looked like he had a little bit of room. But there came Thompson filling in the alley like you want your safety to. Great job. And like Tom said, 11 tackles for Thompson already.
4-man rush, Seeley on the move. Throwing on the sideline to Grant. And he's taken out of bounds immediately, well short of the first down. They'll put him back at the 48 in HBU territory. It's going to be 4th and 10. And what do the Wildcats do here? Here comes the punt team.
Tom, in the third quarter, I really felt like HBU's defense was on the ropes. I really felt that way. I felt like they were on the ropes. And they came up with that stop in the third quarter that forced the ball, forced ACU to have to punt back to them. And then the complementary football came into play. It's almost as if that gave them a second win.
Yes.
Because they're playing with so much more energy out on the field right now than they started this second half with.
You talk about pivotal moments of the game. That was it right there when they made him punt near midfield. Thompson says get away from this ball, and they'll cover it up at the 20-yard line on the punt by Kilcullen of 28 yards with no return. 13:38 to go. HBU with a 7-point lead gets the ball back.
And it's time for Terrence Peters in the run game to take over. There's a lot of time in this game, but you got a 1-touchdown lead. Keep that defense fresh. I think that's what we learned in the last few minutes of that third quarter, is that defense got to rest, and they are flying around. That last drive, they were flying across the field.
making hits, doing a great job. Now it's time for this run game and this offensive line to really establish a lot of scrimmage and continue to run more clock. And here we go.
And it's Kelly coming around the right side. He is taken off his feet right at the line of scrimmage. Big number 91, and that is Ivan Thomas Jr. making the tackle on the play for basically no gain. Let's go to Jeff Power quickly.
Yeah, we're here with Quentin Griffin. If the name sounds familiar, yes, former Oklahoma Sooner and Denver Bronco, runs the running backs here for HBU. You're a general coach assistant. Tell me a little bit about what goes on in your mind.
Well, just working with these guys, for a couple weeks now, and it's been a great deal working with Coach Shealy and the staff, so I'm pretty excited.
And this is a pretty potent running back group for HBU on top of that.
Yeah, they have a lot of talent, so, those guys are getting the feel of the game, so, we expect some big things today.
Okay, Quentin Griffin, let's send it back upstairs. Thanks, man.
4-yard run around the left side for B.J. Kelly sets up 3rd down and 6 now for the Huskies at their own 24-yard line.
3rd and 6, I'd give it to Quentin Griffin.
I don't know if he's got eligibility. Dawson going to throw over the middle. He's got his man. It's Taylor in Abilene Christian territory at the 43-yard line.
Remember, Tom, in the first half, when Taylor ran this exact same route, I said they're coming back to it. I'm telling you, they're coming back to it. And they did, and they got Taylor splitting the safeties up the field. And there it is. We've got an Abilene Christian player down on the field. We'll try to get his number.
It was the trailing player who came over the top of the pile, and that's how he got injured.
But that route, Taylor lined up in the slot on the right-hand side and essentially just crossed the field, going up the field to the other hash, and he split the safeties. Dawson found him. That was the route they just missed that would have been a touchdown earlier, and we said they'll come back to it, and did right there in a big spot to give HBU a big first down in Abilene Christian territory.
32-yard pickup as we take a look at the big play tracker here, and you can see 21-16 is the score on the big play tracker. 21-14 the score on the scoreboard here. Houston Baptist a little bit better creating big plays with their offense at 5.7 per snaps per big play to 8.6 for Abilene Christian.
Tom, we know that ACU has run a lot more offensive snaps here tonight, but what's impressive about the Huskies is for the time that they do have the ball, they're getting their mileage. A big play every 5.7 snaps of the ball.
That's a great percentage when you get it down under 6 like that.
Tom, that was number 41, Brandon Richmond, who is going off the field. Strong safety for Abilene Christian, which puts Royce Moore back in the game. And if you see Royce on the far side of the field, on his left hand, he has got a massive purple cast on.
Look at that thing.
It is huge. And that's why Brandon Richmond was in the game, because Royce Moore is playing with that big cast on his left hand.
On 1st and 10, we get a false start. Center snap from Kyle Tomasi was a half beat late. Guys were firing off before he got the ball off the ground.
It's still only the 3rd game, but we've seen a lot of false starts.
False start, offense, number 66, 5-yard penalty, remain second.
Cortez Uwagwu with his first one to move, but
we got a little chippiness going on down there, Tom. Bryson Gates and the offensive line for HBU. Josh Bloom in the center on that one. I believe it was the center who he was mixed up with a little bit there. Hunter Barron, who's a tackle. They were jawing at each other. So get a little chippy down there on into the 4th quarter.
Well, Abilene Christian not used to being behind HBU. Running play. No, they faked the run and tried to throw it on the outside. Looking for Wesley Lewis. This is the 2nd time they've targeted him, but that ball was off the mark. Going to be 2nd down and 15.
It didn't look like Lewis thought the ball was for him. It was sort of splitting Hall. They were running a double slant, so Hall was running the slant, and Lewis was running it. It didn't look like it was for Hall. It didn't look like it was for Lewis, and Lewis definitely didn't think it was for him.
2nd and long. Dawson on the run, going to tuck it. And he'll run out of bounds near the 47-yard line before he'll be chased out there by Gavin Burford, the middle linebacker. And they say he stepped out of bounds where? At the 47, I think. Yeah. So back at the 47. 3rd down and about 15.
Not sure on an offensive coordinator's playlist where the 3rd and 15 section is, but it's pretty small, I would imagine.
Delayed blitz. They pick it up. Dawson scrambles on the sideline, incomplete. Trying to make the diving effort was Lewis. Couldn't bring it in. It'll be a 4th down and punting situation for the Huskies with 11:26 left to go.
But that throw to Taylor is going to allow Guzman to hit a coffin corner punt and pin ACU back. So the big play early on and a good punt here takes ACU back inside the 10-yard line, whereas he doesn't hit Taylor with that ball. ACU gets this ball at about the 30 or 35-yard line.
So Guzman to punt. They've put Josh Fink back, maybe the better hands guy, since they figure this ball is going to be held up deep. It's a wobbler. It'll hit at the 16, bounce straight up in the air, and be down at about the 18-yard line. And the ball is covered up by number 51, Danny Garza, the long snapper. Let's get another check of the scores from around the Southland Conference today. Nicholls State with a victory. Stephen F. Austin holds off McNeese in a big ball game. Central Arkansas improves to 2-0. Sam Houston well on their way to victory in Beaumont against Lamar.
Boy, Sam Houston State can put some points on the board, Tom. We're going to see them next week. That is a potent offense. See that next week.
And you thought Abilene Christian liked to run plays? Those guys. Casey Keeler's not happy until at least 90.
Triple digits in plays.
Yes. So from the 17-yard line, 1st and 10 for Seeley. Wings it down the middle, has a man wide open at the 45-yard line. It's Fink, and he'll be tripped up at the 39, but that's a gain of 22 yards.
That ball was zipped. Look at the velocity on this throw. That ball had some RPMs on him. That ball was hot coming out of Seeley's hand. Excellent throw. Great start on 1st down for the Wildcats.
3 receivers far side. Seeley throws again. And diving out to midfield is Fink with his 2nd straight catch and 2nd straight 1st down. Back-to-back 1st downs. That a gain of 11.
Here we go. Tempo is hot. They got HBU on their heels a little bit. Seeley started getting a little bit of a rhythm here throwing the football.
Sinks it out near side a little wide, trying for the one-handed grab, but unable to come up with the football is number 9, and that's Kalen Sadler.
Not sure if an HBU Husky got a hand on that ball, but forced a wide throw from Seeley as he was not able to make that connection. And HBU will stay in 4 wides. Now they do bring Duncan back into the game, but it was empty set with Seeley back there all on his own.
And here's the running play for Duncan. Cuts it up over the right left tackle spot and will pick up 8 or 9 yards before he'll be tripped up. Now it's going to be 3rd down and 2.
I have no problem at all with 4 wides and running the football. That's actually a great spot for Abilene Christian to run the ball there. With 4 wides, HBU spread out all over the place. Duncan finally had some room to run off that left edge. He was able to make a linebacker miss and pick up a decent gain to set up 3rd and short.
8 of 17 on 3rd down are the Wildcats. Big one here, 3rd down and 2. Running play for Duncan up the middle. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and thrown for loss. Big pressure led by Terrence Mandeville. No gain, it'll be 4th down and 2.
Abilene Christian went heavy on the right side. They loaded up tackles and tight ends on the right side. HBU was trying to get everybody adjusted. Mandeville was the one guy trying to get everybody adjusted. He just ran into the B gap to stop the play.
They run I formation. How about this?
And they are heavy to the right side again, Tom.
You got Ennis as the tight end over there. You brought the fullback Crane in to block for Duncan. Fake it to him. Swing it out. Crane has got the 1st down and more on the sideline. Tripped up at about the 25-yard line. Coming up to make the stop finally was Latravian G.
Great play call on 4th and short. Getting Crane out in the flat wide open. Ennis was covered, but they sent both tight ends out. One went a little deeper, one went to the flat. Seeley with the great touch pass, and ACU is cooking now.
Gain of 18 yards, 1st and 10 from the Husky 24. Fake to Duncan, throw in the seam, broken up by Thompson. They were looking once again for Crane, but Taylor Thompson, who's had an outstanding ball game tonight, broke that one up.
You'll see the run fake here, which is going to draw the linebackers, which opens up that area right where Crane was trying to get to, but Thompson closed on him so quickly. Excellent safety play. Thompson has been really impressive at that safety position tonight, Tom.
Send a man in motion, fake to him on 2nd and 10. Underneath screen for Duncan. It'll be tripped up, lost the ball, picked up by by Abilene Christian, and diving forward to the 19-yard line. Johnny on the spot was Kalen Sadler.
That could have been tragic. Watch the stick here by HBU secondary. Try to see who this is. Is that Broussard with the hit? It was Broussard with the hit, popped it loose. But Abilene Christian able to get on it, but kept him from a first down. This makes it 3rd and 5, and a massive play in this game right now.
Well, definitely 4-down territory for the Wildcats. They don't want the field goal here. Standing up across the line are the Husky defense. Here they come. Seeley forced out of the pocket, breaks free. 15, 10, and down at about the 7 or 8-yard line before Thompson can finally get there.
G was coming on the late blitz. But Travian G, you'll see him pop into your screen right there, and he almost had him. But Seeley's strong. This is a bigger guy than you think, Tom. I saw him down on the field. He's 6'1", he's pretty thick cut. You've got to wrap him up and bring him to the ground. But that's what we talked about at the beginning of this game. He makes plays happen out of the pocket that is so difficult to stop, and he has really kept Abilene Christian in this ballgame.
We've rolled under 8 minutes to play. Huskies protecting a 7-point lead. 1st and goal from the 8. Play fake. Seeley rolling to the right. Flag is down. Seeley still on his feet, dives for the end zone and scores. But I think we're going to get a hold behind the play that's going to bring this back.
There is a flag on the flag.
Offense.
There's the holding call.
We saw this, Tom, there's the hold right there. Oh, Taylor Holmes held right there by Crane, the tight end, who was coming back across the formation to make the block. We saw this with the Texans last week against the Bears, Tom. They had 2 goal-to-go situations, and they had a holding on one and an offensive pass interference on the other, and they had 1st and goal from the 20. Well, Abilene Christian, same situation. They've got 1st and goal at the 18, and they need 7. They need the big points, not the 3.
Empty backfield, 3 receivers to the top of the formation. Now James is going to come back in on the right shoulder. 1st and goal from the 18. Seeley rolling right. In the flat, he throws. Ball is caught there, I think. He'll be brought down around the 12-yard line, and Broussard a little slow to get up, but he's going to stay in the ball game, I think. Nope, going down, and we're going to have a timeout to attend to Derek Broussard. This could be a costly injury right now because, as you mentioned, he's played very well in pass coverage tonight.
Yeah, he definitely has. That means Chris Taylor, who's made a couple of plays, the senior out of Los Angeles, is going to go back in the game. But you'll see Seeley roll here, looking down the field, didn't have it, and just flipped it out to Fink out in the flat. And I could hear the HBU coaches saying that was a pick, and he's right. If you watch this again, Justin Miller, number 18, was running inside and was blocking. He was actually blocking the inside linebacker, which is exactly what the HBU staff is talking about. You'll see 18, watch 18 come into your screen. He's going to block. Look, he's blocking right there. You can see him. And Seeley's going to throw the ball. That's the definition of offensive pass interference. He can't be blocking downfield like that. But if it's not called,
he can.
You get away with it.
That's it. So now it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 12-yard line after the 6-yard pickup. 21-14. Houston Baptist protecting a 7-point lead midway through the 4th quarter. Abilene Christian trying for the tying score. James is in the backfield with Seeley. Seeley's going to throw on the run. He's got some room on the right, at the 5, at the 2, at the 1. Touchdown. Dallas Seeley has made this a 1-point game with a 12-yard run.
Boy, is that guy fun to watch. You get him out in space, he is electric. And it looked like Holmes, number 7, had a beat on him. And he just spun, shook him, and he got that ball in the end zone. Dallas Seeley, you can see why he was the Southland Conference Player of the Year, Player of the Week last week against Northern Colorado. HBU's defense has held up for a long time tonight.
Watch out here for two-point conversion. You have Parker McKenzie, the backup quarterback, in the ball game.
He's looking at the sideline to see what to do.
We're going to go for one. Yeah, HBU was more prepared for the two-point conversion try this time. So they have the kicking unit on, but they make you commit first. So now Nick Grau will try to tie this game up. McKenzie puts it down, and Grau slips it through the upright on the right side. And we're all even with 7:08 to play. Here's the touchdown again.
You can see Seeley right there. Great block by his center, Hisler. It had been a little bit of a holding, but once Seeley got into space, he was as good as in the end zone. Look at him pull it down here. And this is trouble. Holmes over pursues. Guys can't wrap up before too long, and he gets in the end zone. Great hustle there by Vincent, but Seeley, just a magician once the play goes off schedule. We see those guys a lot in college football now, Tom. Louisville with Lamar Jackson. Deshaun Watson can do that with Clemson. The guy I always think about is really a guy that doesn't fit that mold is Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger was the best we've ever seen making plays off schedule. That as soon as the play started to go awry, that's when Ben was really at his best. Dallas Seeley has done that tonight. When the play is broken down, that's really when he has flourished, and he's really kept Abilene Christian in this ballgame. Now tied 21 apiece with 7 left in the fourth. Man, what a ballgame we got again, Tom.
Seeley with 13 rushes for 68 yards and that big touchdown. He's also thrown it 28 of 39 for 297 yards in his score. That scoring drive, 11 plays, 83 yards, 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
And Tom, he won his job in spring. Parker McKenzie, who threw the two-point play earlier in the game and is the holder, he was an all-conference player back in 2014. Didn't have a great 2015, and they battled for the job in the spring, and Seeley won that job. And that should show you something. And a guy that started for a couple of years, Seeley beat him out for the job and has been fantastic. Even though they didn't win that game at Air Force, he had a couple of great throws down the field to put them in at least shouting distance against Air Force, a Mountain West Conference team. And then last week against Northern Colorado, they were down 28-7, and he just kept willing one drive after another, willing them back into the game, and made it a 55-52 game, and a game really that Northern Colorado should have won by 2 or 3 touchdowns, but Seeley kept them in it, and it's now 21-21.
Here's Jeff Power on the sideline before the kickoff.
Hey, real quick update here on Terrence Peters. Last week he got his toe stepped on his left foot. He's got it taped up now, the smaller toes, if you will, the pinky toe on that left foot, getting some work on it now, so keep an eye on that as with 7:08 to play here in the fourth quarter. Guys, back upstairs.
Very important drive coming up here for HBU to answer, John, for a couple of reasons. One, to answer the score, but two, offensive plays run. 82 for Abilene Christian, just 54 for HBU. That HBU defense has been on the field a long time. Short kick. Barnett from the 8-yard line. Got a block, tripped up at the 21-yard line. Special teams tackle made by Trice Prince. Backup safety.
Excellent coverage there by ACU. And Tom, to your point, you're right. That defense needs a little bit of a rest. And not only that, your depth is being stretched about as far as it can go. Doran Turner out of this game. Derek Broussard just went out. We'll see if he can get back in the game. So defensively, your depth is getting stretched now. This is the time for one of those drives to come on down, take some time off this clock, but let the run game do the work. And we do see Terrence Peters in the game at this moment.
He'll be at the left shoulder of Tony Dawson. 1st and 10 from the 21. Dawson will keep as he pulled it out at the last minute and gets forward for a couple of yards. But middle linebacker Gavin Burford makes the stop after a 2-yard pickup.
That could have been a bigger play. Burford wasn't reading his keys. He read the zone read pull perfectly and was there to make a good solid tackle. Still picked up 3 yards. Not bad on first down. But now you're 2nd and 7.
Run option left. Dawson will keep, sprints through a hole and be close to first down yardage. At the 30, maybe the 31-yard line.
Watch Dawson run and put his head down. And boom, he's going to take on, I believe that was Bryson Gates.
Yeah, he lost his helmet, so Gates will have to come out of the game for a play.
Gates has been all over the place tonight. I think he has been ACU's best defender out on the field. But Tony Dawson put that shoulder down to get that first down and picked it up. We'll see Gates back here in a little bit as he gets his helmet back on. But a nice start to the drive with the run inside by Dawson and then the speed option keep. They got a first down and moved it out to the 31-yard line.
A little breathing room now for the Husky offense. And this time Peters will carry. He'll be met at the line of scrimmage and thrown down. Big number 91. And that is Ivan Thomas Jr. makes the stop.
Excellent penetration by ACU's front right there to set up 2nd and 11. Actually a tackle for a loss there. Great job. They've been rotating guys throughout the night for ACU's defensive front, and you can see some fresh bodies out there right now, and Thomas is one of them, and he came up with a big play right there on first down against Huskies.
2 receivers come to the near side, 1 to the far side on 2nd and 11. Dawson fakes to Peters, and he's in trouble. He'll be brought down from behind. And there's your man, number 12. Gates, and a little help from number 33. And that's going to be Renell Previon.
Great move there by Previon. Went underneath the tackle's block, and Dawson had no chance. Dawson never saw him, couldn't run out of the pocket. Excellent technique there, going inside by the big defensive tackle for Abilene Christian, setting up a 3rd and long in truly a gotta-have-it situation.
A sack for 6 yards is 3rd and 17. Just a 4-man rush, trying to set up a screen. And stumbling out of bounds is Dawson, because once again, it was Previon coming up to make the force with the defensive pressure. He just beat his man at the line of scrimmage. Look how fast he's back in the backfield.
Yeah, ACU had that one sniffed out. They've seen that screen a couple of times tonight. The first time it went for a big gain for Terrence Peters, but the other 2 times have gone just like that. ACU's defense needed a drive. It needed a 3-and-out. Didn't quite get the 3-and-out, but they got off the field and they needed to. As the clock winds down, Dallas Seeley's going to get this ball with plenty of time, all 3 timeouts, and everything in the playbook at his disposal.
Guzman to punt this one away. A high spiraling kick. Fair catch waved and called for by Fuller at the 35-yard line with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to play. Don't you go anywhere. We're locked up in a 21-21 struggle here in Houston on a Saturday night as you watch Southland Conference football. Four minutes, 30 seconds to play at Husky Stadium. HBU 21, Abilene Christian 21. And the Wildcats have the ball at their own 35-yard line. They just scored the last time they had the ball going down the field. Any kind of points here might be the difference in the ball game.
Derek Broussard back in the ball game at corner on this near side.
It's a reverse. Fumbled and taken here on the near side, and out for the first down across the 45 to the 47-yard line goes Justin Miller.
We got a flag on the field, and we got a Husky down. I think this one's going to be coming back.
And a player down at the 33-yard line. You see Broussard back in, but he's holding his wrist here. He's down over here where the tackle was made. Then we've got that other player back at the 33-yard line. Looks like one of the linemen. Now it's the linebacker, number 41. That is Avery Wright. And we've seen a lot of the back. You know who we haven't seen really tonight is Cody Moncourt.
Yeah.
The other starting outside linebacker. Turner getting hurt. Moncourt's been invisible. We've seen a lot of Bowling and Holmes and Wright in this ball game.
Depth getting stretched even further. Here's the call.
Personal foul, legal block below the waist. Offense number 55.
Shot block.
15-yard penalty, replay first down.
So the 15-yard walk-off will take it back to the 20-yard line. See if we can pick up the chop block.
And it's just out of the screen. You can't see it. But
they were going the other way.
Yeah, I saw Wright go down. I saw the flag, and I figured it was probably that or a clip. Especially on a reverse like that, those plays are prone to happen. Well, Tom, we go back to, like you said, Bowling's in the game, Holmes in the game. Depth getting stretched big time.
Dolan, the Iron Man in the middle, stays on there. He's never out of the game. Here's Duncan up the middle, only got 3. Huskies not fooled at all by a running play on 1st and long.
And now you see Abilene Christian slowing it just a little bit.
23-yard line.
And this is a sort of tricky spot if you're a play caller, because you still want to be aggressive. You have some momentum from the last drive, but yet you can't turn the ball over to HBU in this sort of territory.
Hey, you've got to trust your defense. Running play for Duncan around the right end. Broke one tackle, stumbles across the 30 and out to the 32-yard line.
Chris Hardiman was there on the spot to make the tackle, but Tom, I'll tell you this, Duncan is not a guy I'd like to see with a head of speed coming at me. That guy runs hard. He might say 205 pounds, but he runs like he is bigger than that. And now we got 3rd and long for the Wildcats.
3rd down and 13. Seeley will throw for it. Over the middle he goes. He has Fink in HBU territory at the 45-yard line.
That ball was zipped across the middle. We've seen that route from Fink last drive. Same exact route. Worked the dig route to the middle of the field, and Seeley with some time and a window zipped it to him. He's got some velocity and RPMs on his throws, Tom.
23-yard pickup, running play. Short yardage, stumbling forward to about the 42-yard line is Duncan. Here's the big 3rd down conversion.
That ball was sort of a duck, but man, that ball was wobbling, but it got there in a hurry. And Fink has come up big. He has been the go-to receiver in this 4th quarter and come up with the big plays. But a good stop on 1st down there for HBU. And you see Dallas Seeley a little upset with DJ Fuller at the moment.
Seeley rolling right, looking right, throwing right, has a man inside the 35. It's Grant, and he'll be bumped down at the 26-yard line. Finally taken down there by Hardiman.
Dallas Seeley doing, again, what he does best. Put him on the move, put him on the run, let him run something off schedule. He's made it happen yet again.
15-yard pickup to the 27, 1st and 10. Clock rolling, 2 minutes to play. Seeley throws through the hands of Fuller. He was open on the little out pattern at the 20-yard line and comes up a little gimpy. You see him going to the sideline saying, somebody's got to come on for me.
Seeley couldn't have made a better throw. That ball is right where you want it, taking him back to the sideline, away from the defender, and see why Seeley was a little disappointed at this moment. But Tom, I can absolutely 1,000% see why the Abilene Christian coaching staff went with Seeley.
Vasquez Hayes comes on to replace him, 2nd and 10. Throw it on the outside, near side, and Thompson's there for another tackle. Sadler with a catch, but Thompson, who's been all over the field tonight, holds that to a 3-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 7 from the 24.
HBU will go dime. They've got 6 defensive backs on the field in a gotta-have-it situation. On a 24, but they don't get it. It'll be a 41-yard field goal attempt as the clock continues to run.
Definitely in the range of Nick Grau.
Neither team taking a timeout, but it looks like ACU might be running it down to take one here.
Play clock is down to 6. We got 1:15 to go. They'll stop it at about 1:10. Right there, it stops at 1:09, 1:08 before it stopped. Abilene Christian taking their first time out here to talk over this big 3rd down and 7 play.
Dallas Sealy, 31 of 43. Couple of drops, 339 yards, a touchdown. He's been sacked a couple of times. But Tom, of those 31, how many has he had where it looks like an HBU Husky's got a hand on him?
Yep.
There's a guy in his throwing window, and yet he finds a way to move around, make something happen off schedule, make that throw, move the sticks. He's done it all night long. If Dallas Sealy's not in this lineup, this is probably a 21-6 ball game. Probably. And maybe HBU's got a couple more possessions. Dallas Sealy has single-handedly kept Abilene Christian in position to win this game. In really a game that HBU, I would say if I'm watching this, I don't know the scoreboard, I would probably say HBU were ahead in this ball game.
Well, Grant has been his favorite receiver. 6 catches for 81 yards. Fink has got 5 for 72, most of those here in the second half. And Crane also has 5 catches for 51. I would look at one of those 3 guys on this big 3rd down and 7.
Well, there's the guy right there in the slot, number 87. That's Fink. He's run that deep dig route from the left side a few times, and now he's on the right. We'll see if they look him up on 3rd down.
He's in the slot with Grant to the top of the formation. Sealy looks to the sideline. 10 on the play clock. Blitz coming. Sealy going to run up the middle. He's been taken down shy of the 20-yard line. Broussard with a big tackle and a timeout. Vic Sealy and Vic Shealy rather, and the HBU Huskies with 55. Wait, the clock may have moved a little bit longer than it should have.
You're supposed to get home clock advantage, right?
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't happening. Coach Shealy was a little upset. He called that timeout with about a little over a minute. The clock kept running, so they'll have to put some time back on.
Timeout, Houston Baptist. Their first to 1:02.
Yeah, you were right. 1:02. That
Coach
sounds
Shealy
about right.
got that timeout right away. He got to that ref and got that timeout right away. And then when the clock didn't stop, he took on about a 20-yard mad sprint to the white hat.
Hey.
Stop my clock. It's really not his fault. It's the home clock operator. Home clock operator's got to understand. His team's in the blue. It's in the blue.
So we are looking at about a 27 or 28-yard field goal here for Nick Grau.
We see Sealy on the sideline. He's walking over to the bench, and I say walking, I use that word loosely because he is limping around a little bit. He is taking a beating, but he has kept it. He's actually having his right hand looked at right now as ACU about to attempt the go-ahead field goal with 1:02 left.
You see him over there on the sideline. He is in a little distress. I don't know what happened on that last tackle. The holder is Parker McKenzie. The deep snapper is Hayden Brodowski. Nick Grau, 3 for 3 on field goals this season, including 2 tonight. None more important than this one right here. From 37 yards on the near hash mark. Ball backing down, kick on the way, and hook's no good. That was a dead duck from the very beginning.
I'd like to see the replay on this. I wonder if the Husky got a hand on the ball or if he just hit this poorly. Either way, HBU's got the ball, 2 timeouts, and 58 seconds left.
Spot the ball at the 21-yard line. You know, unlike the pro game, that would have been at 27. Every yard counts right now, down 50 seconds to go.
Yeah, absolutely. HBU's defense came up with the stop when it needed it. Missed field goal. And now Tony Dawson has a chance to be a hero yet again with 58 seconds left. and 79 yards to cover.
You see the anticipation here on the HBU sideline. Never beaten Abilene Christian. Dawson will swing it out in the flat, and Peters could not keep his feet. He goes down inside the 20-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 3 or 4 yards. The clock continues to roll. 45 seconds left. Mev Adjton coming in late. Clock continues to go. 35 seconds.
Tom, this has got the smell of overtime.
It sure does. Dawson for Peters. Peters will get out to about the 23-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and about 8.
And now you got Abilene Christian timeout. Ken Collins is going to force them on 3rd down.
Well, he's got 2. He'll force them to punt. Unless somehow this play for HBU takes all 11 seconds off the clock. But could we be in line for extra football on a Saturday night in Houston?
Well, why not? I mean, this game has been up and down, back and forth, lead changes, momentum, big plays, pivotal moments. It's had everything we've been looking for. Southland Conference has had some close games today. Throw this one right in the mix. This reeks of overtime, which is not a bad thing.
No.
You get your money's worth and then some with a little overtime.
And at least there will be no tie game. Remember, it wasn't that long ago where the colleges played the tie games?
50 years ago.
This week.
Well, that wasn't this week, but it was in 1966. Number 1 versus 2, Michigan State, Notre Dame, playing tonight in South Bend. Didn't look like it went well for the Irish. Sparty jumped all over him in the second and third quarters. But it's a 10-10 tie.
Yep.
And Eric Parsegian decided to play for the tie.
Yes.
Because the next week he played USC and beat him 51-7 and won a national championship. No ties tonight. No kissing your sister tonight, Tom.
No, sir. 3rd down and long. Running play. Peters tried to dart outside, lost his footing. He got covered up by Prevlion. And Peters limping off the field
Abilene
here.
Christian.
Abilene Christian will call their 3rd and final timeout. And they're going to make HBU punt. If Christian Guzman gets this ball away, unless it's returned for a touchdown, we're headed for overtime. But he's going to make the HBU special teams do their job.
Punted out of bounds. Punted out of bounds. You're near the right hash. Punt that thing out of bounds. You remember what happened against TSU last week.
Right.
TSU had 10 guys on the field. They weren't even set up. And Austin Watts picked up a bouncing ball at about the 5 and headed to the other sideline and went 95 for a touchdown. If I'm talking to my punt team, every single one of you guys is in and around the ball carrier. Make this, force this to go into overtime.
Christian Guzman hang it high and for the sideline. It's just that simple. So Guzman stands back at his 13-yard line. Just in case. Justin Miller is back at the 30. He put it in the field of play. Will hit at the 29 and be down to the 31, and we are headed for overtime here in Houston. 21-21, HBU and Abilene Christian. Who's going to win it? Well, you're going to have to come back and find out as you watch Southland Conference football.
Please set the game clock at 3 minutes. We're going to play overtime. If you pick offense, defense, or which end of the field you want to play on. Abilene Christian, you'll get your choice. Tails is a choice. Tails is a choice.
And the coin flip for overtime.
You want to play defense first. Which end of the field do you want to play on?
Houston Baptist wins the toss and has chosen to go on defense first. Abilene Christian will be on the attack first. They get to pick which side of the field they want to go to.
Abilene Christian will be on offense on this end of the field.
And they will come down to the right side here at Husky Stadium. So as we look at the stat sheet through 4 quarters, 21-21, first downs are 24-15 in favor of Abilene Christian. Rushing yards about the same, 172 to 150. Yep. Passing yards, 339 to 214. Abilene Christian on 90 snaps has 511 yards, 62 snaps for HBU, 364 yards. Time of possession, 36:50 to 23:10.
And yet, Tom, giving up 511 yards, I would
somehow
say
that Husky defense has come up with big plays when they've needed them.
All night. They've been rocked a few times.
You know, third downs are 10 of 21, but somehow they keep them out of the end zone.
They've done an excellent job. Thompson, Dolan, Broussard, those guys have done an excellent job. The guys up front have held up for the most part, but the one thing the guys up front have done.
Please set the game clock to all zeros.
Yeah, we don't need the game clock. We can shut that down.
Stopped at 1, yeah.
We're done. We're done with you, game clock.
The only clock that matters is the play clock now. That's it. We're here until we get a winner. Each team will get a chance from the 25-yard line to put points on the board. First, it's the Wildcats from Abilene Christian. Dallas Seeley in the shotgun. Play fake, throw outside. Has his man at the 20, tackled at the 19-yard line by Broussard. Troy Grant with his 7th catch of the ball game.
Timmons, the defensive end for HBU that side, read that well. Seeley just missed that hand. Timmons was that close to knocking that throw down.
Second down, 4 from the 19-yard line. Blitz coming, running play, and no place to go for Duncan. Dolan and company stop it for a 2-yard loss back to the 21.
Excellent call by the HBU defensive staff. Ran the run blitz perfectly. They tried to run zone. They were blitzing right into it. It's like Tecmo Bowl. You called the perfect defense for the perfect play, and you shut it down. And they did not have Tecmo Bo Jackson back there. That's the only guy that could defeat that play. And no offense to Duncan. He's had a great night, but he's not Tecmo Bo.
No.
At least
now
not
big
yet anyways.
3rd down and 6. Seeley throws, overthrows intended receiver Fink on the near sideline. And they're going to have to settle for a field goal try for Grau, who, remember, right near the end of regulation, missed from 37 yards.
Do you think it went through Ken Collins' head, maybe, just maybe, instead of putting it on the foot of my kicker, that I put it back in the hands of Seeley?
I don't know.
Just for a brief second, you think he thought that? I did. I thought about that.
So Grau is 2 out of 3 tonight. Field goals made from 42 and 34. This one will be from 38, near the center of the field. McKenzie puts it down. Kick is up on the way, and the kick is good. First blood drawn by the Wildcats as they now lead 24-21 with HBU a chance to go on the attack and win the game with a touchdown.
The obvious advantage of playing defense is you know what you have to do. You know a field goal sends it to a second overtime, but then you flip it. Then your offense has to go first.
Right.
HCU has the opportunity at that point. So you know what you have to do. A touchdown, finish it. A field goal, send you to a second overtime. So you go for it on fourth down. You don't go for it on fourth down if you're within field goal range, which you should be at the 25 going in.
Right.
But a touchdown finishes it and gives HBU a big-time win. Now it's about execution in a shortened field, and we'll see what Tony Dawson can do with the first snap of his drive.
Peters is back in with that left foot all taped up. You see the white. Fake it to him. Gonna go deep for Lewis. Touchdown! Game over! Houston Baptist wins it in overtime by a score of 27-24. What a toss!
I've been calling for the fade route for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks I've been calling for the fade route to your 6'6" wide receiver. And Tony Dawson just laid an absolute gem right on Lewis for the touchdown. And this place has gone berserk. You see the HBU players in the end zone. What a wonderful football game. What a catch
great
by
way to
Lewis.
end it.
Oh, man, what a game. HBU played their guts out. Guys injured. Here it is. Watch the fake. Dawson with the pump and go. And there's Lewis making the catch. That's how it's done. Slant and go, stutter and go, double move. Excellent job. What a great throw by Tony Dawson. He's made some great throws throughout the night. Some that were dropped in the first half, but the biggest one of the night right there. Lewis hangs on, 27-24. HBU gets the win. They move to 2-1 as Abilene falls to 0-3.
And right now we'll go to our player of the game, and that's the guy, the hero, Wesley Lewis, the 6'6" junior with Jeff Power.
Yeah, Wesley Lewis joining us now. First of all, congratulations, but what was the play call here in the corner of the end zone?
Slow go, like standing up.
What did you see as that play unfolded? Tell me what you saw.
I saw a touchdown, but we knew we were going to win that game. We just struggled a little bit.
Does this team feel somewhat destined? I mean, this is HCU beat you guys last year. They scored 49 points.
We're hungry, sir. We want to win as much as we can, as best we can.
Put this in perspective. What does this mean now? Back-to-back victories for HBU here in Houston.
This means a lot for us. It means a lot for our team. That's all I got.
Final thoughts as y'all get ready to play Sam Houston State next week.
We got to work hard, way harder than we've worked. We're on a win streak. Let's keep it going.
Okay, Wesley Lewis, player of the game, overtime catch, touchdown, HBU wins it. Fantastic finish, back upstairs.
All right, thanks very much. 27-24 in overtime. Houston Baptist with the win, 1-1 now in Southland Conference play, 2-1 on the season. Abilene Christian falls to 0-3 on the year and losing their first game in the Southland this season. We'll be back to wrap things up after this timeout. Alongside John Harris, Tom Franklin here at Husky Stadium in Houston, where the HBU Huskies have scored their second straight victory in thrilling fashion, 27-24 in overtime over Abilene Christian. First time in 4 tries in their career matchups that the Huskies have registered a win over the Wildcats. And how about Wesley Lewis, John? 2 catches tonight, 1 for 69 yards to set up their first touchdown, and 1 from 25 that won the ball game.
Yeah, it wasn't as if they were trying to avoid Lewis. They just weren't able to connect up, but the 2 times they did connect up, massive plays. Early on, that gave the HBU offense some momentum in that big play, and it gave Tony Dawson some confidence. And even though he was only 6 of 13 at the half, he was throwing the ball pretty well. And he really threw the ball well all night. And we've said this a few times, that Central Arkansas game to start the year, he was 10 of 27. Coach Shealy talked about it. Tony was really symbolic of the whole team. They played tight. They weren't the play that they weren't the team they needed to be. And tonight was a different story, and they come out of there with the win.
So that'll do it from Houston tonight, where the HBU Huskies beat the Abilene Christian Wildcats 27-24 in overtime. For Jeff Power and Tom, and for John Harris and our entire crew, Tom Franklin saying so long from Husky Stadium.